Let's bring this up because I'm over here talking. I haven't even got the right stream up for my my people. But anyways, let's start off with some proper decorum here. I know you're in your masculine era. First. No, I didn't.
You started first.
Hold on.
You can't take the heat.
Hold on.
Get the fuck out the kitchen.
Let me. Oh, you would talk about the kitchen, but speak easy.
Too bad I'm not cooking Coke in it for you. You user. I know a user when I see one.
Is it a 2 liter?
I can tell by your eyes.
Speak easy.
And the yellows of your teeth.
Speak easy. Did I talk about her weight the first time she got up on screen, or did I talk about her proximity to the screen?
Get the fuck over it. Let's start the debate. Come on. Those steroids have addled my brain.
You can't even
all right.
This is crazy.
Stuck on this. Let it go, junkie.
All right, real quick.
Crazy shit.
Martae, you know how it goes, but just to remind, what do you want me to call you? Just
love beautifully. Love beautiful. It doesn't matter.
I'm not calling you that. Trust me.
I don't care what you call me, Bobby.
Hey, speak easy. It's not an ad hom if I call her the acronym. Is that not the acronym of what her name is?
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Say it and get the fuck off it. You've been on it for a long time. All right.
I'm
going to call you LB. I'm not calling you beautiful. Right. Trust me. I'm not doing that.
Real quick. So the way it goes, when I started up, it's going to play like my disclaimer. It'll play an intro, like a song and a little video. Then when we get on to the screen, I'm going to introduce the show. I'll introduce you guys and the prompt, and then wait right after we're done the prompt. So since you are on the affirmative, Martae, you are going to go first for openings.
Also, real quick, Speakeasy, I sent you a video that's going to be my opening statement. That's going to leave me a minute left over after that. It's like almost 6 minutes.
Okay, I see it in the back there. So for your opening, you want me to play the video first?
Yeah, you're going to play the video, and then I got a minute left over, and I'll close it up. That's
okay.
It.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, just so your stream can move smoothly. So, good.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So yeah, you'll open first for the openings, and then we do 5-minute uninterrupted rebuttal. So after you both do an opening statement, we'll do a 5-minute rebuttal each. And then after the rebuttals, we're going to go into a full hour of back and forth. For the most part, I'm going to be staying out of it unless it gets like too crazy or we get too off track or something. I'll bring us back in. And then when that's done, we go to the 5-minute closing statements and then a 30-minute Q&A. That's like the chat asking questions. And then after the Q&A, this part's optional for you both. But if you guys want to stay, we do a open panel after.
Oh, I'm staying.
So this is where the chat can come up and join as well. And
I'm staying.
Continue the topic.
She thinks she ate in the last debate. I'm gonna prove her wrong in this one too. So hopefully, LBs, you can stay for the post panel. That'll be cool. But I'm sticking around. So
I think you're secretly submissive. You must like getting your ass whooped.
Hey, speaking. Hold on.
You pick me, so you don't have to pay for it. You like an ass whooping.
Keep that energy for this debate. That's perfect. Anyway, speak easy. Let's get to it.
It's perfect. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna start it up. It'll play the intro that runs for about like 3 minutes. It gives everyone time to like gather in. And then, I'll introduce the prompt, introduce you two, and then we'll get right into it. You'll go first, Martae, and then it'll go to Love over here. And then we'll go back and forth and then go through it all. So both of you are ready to go?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
I'm ready.
All right, perfect. Thank you both for being here. And let's get it rocking.
Sniffling already, Martae?
The information shared in these conversations and videos are intended for general knowledge and entertainment purposes only. It should not be considered as legal advice or professional guidance. Additionally, any documentation or references to specific content are solely for the purpose of discussion and understanding. It does.
Look, man, this is going to be crazy debate. Already she's masculine. She's already talking about beating my ass. She's already talking about me being submissive and not her. Basically proving the prompt that I have. So the whole thing is me saying that she's masculine, black women are masculine, which she's fully demonstrating that right now. By her own lingo, the way that she's talking and presenting herself. Already masculine, already taking the L in this debate before it even started. This is gonna be a beautiful, masterful victory. Let's bring this back up actually to the screen.
Private study, education, parody, satire, criticism, review.
Step up! Yeah! We pledge! We pledge! We pledge! We pledge! Yeah! Step in the arena, mind locked and loaded. Truth on my blade, every line's exploded. You swing your words, I counter with precision. Battle of reason, this is my mission. Raise your fist, let them know. No. Raise your voice, let it blow. Woo! We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreat. Yeah. No fear, no chain, no treason. Woo! We clash our swords of reason. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreat. Yeah. No fear, no chain, no treason. Woo! We clash our swords of reason. Step back, I'm a scholar and a fighter. Every claim you throw, I strike tighter. Logic and power, I never fold. In the war of words, I'm solid gold. Raise your fist, let them know. Whoa. Raise your voice, let it blow. Woo. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreat. Yeah. No fear, no chain, no treason. Woo. We clash our swords of reason. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreat. Yeah. No fear, no chain, no treason. Woo. We clash our swords of reason. Every thought a fortress, every claim a storm. We forge a truth where chaos takes form. Ideas ignite like lightning through the night. In the war of minds, we bring the light. Step in, feel the heat. Truth is my weapon, never beat. Raise them high, break the ceiling. With a fire, with a feeling. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreating. No fear, no chain, no treason. We clash our swords of reason. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreating. No fear, no chain, no treason. We clash our swords of reason. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreating. No fear, no chain, no treason. We clash our swords of reason.
Welcome, everybody, to Swords of Reason right here on the Speakeasy Show. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. This is where logic meets passion. All right, if you're new here, the format is simple. Each debater gets 10 minutes for their opening statement, followed by 5 minutes of uninterrupted rebuttals. After that, we're going to enter the arena for a full hour of back and forth. This is where, the arguments can clash and the iron can sharpen the iron. And then finally, each side delivers a 5-minute closing statement to lock in their case. When that's done, we move into the 30-minute Q&A. I am going to put a Q&A in the chat there for everyone, but just keep in mind the super chats, PayPal, Cash Apps, these questions are going to get priority. So if those fill up the entire 30 minutes, the free chat questions may not get answered. So if there's something you want guaranteed to be asked, make sure you send it through one of the priority options. And once the formal debate wraps up, we open the doors for a chaos and chill panel. This is where, the community can hop in, challenge debaters, keep the topic going if the debaters choose to stick around, because that part is optional for them. But it's always where the things get wild, all right? Today's debate prompt is Black women are too masculine. And for today's debaters, for the affirmative, we have Martae Reyes, a professional bodybuilder known for pop culture commentary, political debates, and openly documenting his walk with God, bringing this discipline from the gym to the arena. All right, and you can find his YouTube channel linked in the description below. And then for the negative, she goes by Love Beautifully on Instagram. Is known for being a musician, comedian, and mathematician. She doesn't have too much of an online presence yet, but I'm sure after tonight with your motivation, she'll be giving us much more content in no time. And you can find her link in the description below. With that being said, we're going to move right into opening statements. Martae, we're going to start with you. So whenever you're ready for your opening statement, just let me know and we'll pop that video up. And then
let's do it. Let's play it.
Right.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rocco Raccoon coming in to give you some raw, unfiltered truth and reality. Black women have had a stigma for masculinity since day one. I can't even demonstrate this. They've been conditioned to think that strength only comes in the form of toughness, aggression, or dominance. So when you refuse to carry that weight, it makes them uncomfortable. And that discomfort turns into hostility. A lot of this bullying is rooted in jealousy and confusion, not just malice. See, when you live in a community like the Black community that praises struggle, anger, and hyper-independence, choosing to rest and be soft feels like rebellion. It is rebellion. Masculine Black women often don't understand how you're able to live without constantly fighting, working, and having to defend yourself. Some Black women wish that they could live like that too, but they're convinced that softness isn't realistic or safe. So instead of admitting that they're tired and hurt, they lash out. You become their target because you represent the freedom that they don't think they're allowed to have. Their anger isn't really about you. Hey, listen, I don't hate Black women. My mama was Black. Hell, my very own debate opponent tonight is an example of Black women being too masculine herself.
Niggas think it's funny to act friendly, but I ain't going. Not even for a fucking penny.
Don't give a fuck about a nigga. I don't give a fuck about a bitch for real. I really the shit for real. I'm really that bitch for real.
I don't think any of that was very feminine. Matter of fact, my opponent will constantly refer to women as bitches, hoes, and niggas. I think that's pretty masculine.
The first time a motherfucker tells you who they are, the first time they show you, you better believe them, bitch. I'm telling you right now, bitch, there is none. There is none, bitch. The moment you accept less, the moment you become a dummy for a nigga that wouldn't be one for you, you lose. This nigga never took you out the house. It got everything to do with your brain, bitch. The lack of one. Don't never let a nigga treat you bad. I don't give a fuck how low your self-esteem is, how bad you think you look, bitch. You better pretend that you look cute, ho.
Black women have gotten so masculine in our culture that they can't even get into office and maintain a position. We'd like to cover the Jasmine Crockett drama, hence here.
Oh,
You
y'all
just
did it first.
voted to do
Y'all did
it.
it first, so you
You
don't want to
just
talk about it.
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at calm down. Calm
No,
down.
because this is
I would
what
like
y'all
to get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Miss
games.
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And you
yelling.
don't want
Calm
me
down.
To
Can you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise
down.
and then
You're out of control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all gonna have a problem.
Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
All right,
Sorry.
chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
Order.
You one crazy ass.
Now look at this situation right here. Now this was crazy. There is no way you people should have elected this woman into office, let alone for one term, a year, even a month. Section 8 would have kicked her out already. This just goes to show that common sense is degrading to the point to where we're electing people like this into office. Our mental health is declining rapidly. I would actually say a culture of murdering and killing is attributed to highly masculine traits, believe it or not. I think that's probably the least feminine stats of all. Yet this culture perpetuates this in Black women. Black women also lead the highest rates in baby deletions. So if you put this all together, Black women are the most masculine women in society. And that's just tipping the iceberg. This murderous culture is even promoted as well too.
I'm BDF, baby daddy free. That mean I ain't got a baby coming out of me. So I'm ABORTING. On my way to the clinic, I forgot the plan B. Let's go. Bitch, I got murder on my mind. Let's go. Bitch, I got murder on my mind. Let's go. Yeah, bitch, I got murder on my mind. Let's go. Murder. Bitch, I got murder on my mind. I forgot the plan B. Ain't no cuffing me. You can't put me on the shelf outside with the team. All these having babies, but that ain't finna be me. Said he wanna settle down.
Look, celebrating murder is generally what men do, and I don't fault men for that, especially when they're victors in battle. Twerking and saying you have murder on your mind outside of a Planned Parenthood is crazy work. Black women also are the highest rate of single motherhood. They have to be the mama and the daddy. So guess what? If Black women are more daddies than any other women culture in the United States, well, that makes them the most masculine as well. According to the Centers for Disease Control, currently in 2026, Black women have the most BMI on the planet, actually, out of all the women, which makes them less petite and less feminine.
803.
Oh, and we're barely tipping the iceberg, but I'll hand it back to Martae.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
All right, let's get into it real quick. So, all right. So I also have brought up a problem, but we have a solution too. Now, the solution is called the Legacy and Grace program that I'm going to roll out. This is a privately funded multi-year cultural campaign promoting the nuclear family, which means stable married to parent homes through positive propaganda and incentives, now enhanced with targeted tax incentives. So what I'm going to do is roll out a media program to incentivize women to have a nuclear family by giving them tax breaks and then promoting in the media that we're going to have feminine propaganda proliferating Black society. Far too gone, we have BET and all these other programs with masculine Black women. Literally what we've shown, and my opponent has shown masculine traits, calling women bitches and hoes and everything else by her own words, which I've shown on the video. Like my boy Rocky Raccoon has said before, one of my political analysts, by the way, too. So back to this. I have a Grace Restores Order propaganda campaign. Tradition builds legacy. This is extremely important because if you are going to complain, bitch, and moan, you better damn well have a solution. This is what men do. For some reason, when Black women get up in arms about what men need to do, no solution because a man better solve this. Well, the problem with this is she better contend with all the arguments that I had in my opening statement. The high single motherhood rate that Black women have, which means that by her own rate, I'm not going to say this if she has somebody in her life or not, but if you're a single mom, you have to be the mom and dad, which means that, oh, guess what? You're more daddy than you need to be, especially if you don't have a nuclear family, which Black women have the highest rates of. And also baby deletion rates highest in black women. So if we're talking about this, murder culture has been associated with masculinity. Anybody that has Google at the hands of their fingertips can look this up. Any murder culture is using force doctrine, which is at the behest of men. Now, if you're in charge of murdering or proliferating murderous culture, what you're doing is appealing to force doctrine, which should be appealing to men, but you're going to mirror this and then say, okay, we're going to increase the stats of said murder rate of babies. Twerking in front of an abortion clinic, crazy, but guess what? I had more music videos, but I didn't want to have a copyright strike on the channel. By the way, everything that I've shown is copyright strike free for Easy's panel because I want him to have a good time in his panel without any strikes. But anyways, back to this. She'd also have to contend with her own lingo, the way that she conducts herself on her own social media, and tell me how that's not masculine. She'd also have to tell me that how the high single mom rates aren't masculine because you also have to be the daddy too. How this murder culture of leading in AB rates of deleting baby isn't masculine because once again, that's associated with masculinity, murder, kill culture, force doctrine, all that other stuff. And then not to mention this, but she'd have to acknowledge this. I don't know how she's going to get around this or how she's going to rectify any of this that I brought up. Basically, all of this should stomp the shit out of her in this debate, but we have to do a whole hour-long conversation and meta conversation to just say the inevitable here. It's blatantly obvious. And now think about this before I wrap this up. Audience, I do want to ask you a question. Would it sound really weird if we just had a statement and somebody said, damn, black women are in their feminine era and they're so soft and sweet? For some reason, it sounds weird to hear that. Why? Because it's polarizing by their own actions, by their own merit. We don't see that in society. Look at entertainment. Look at everything else. Look at rap music. To show me one feminine woman in music as far as rap or hip hop or anything like that promoting any propaganda. Anyways, I can see my time. I'm anxious to get into this debate and hear my opponent's argument. If they have one, I can see my time.
All right. Thank you for that opening statement, Martae. And with that, we're going to hand the mic over to Love Beautifully. Whenever you're ready for your opening statement, I'll start the timer up with your voice. Oh, you got your, there you go.
All right, let's get it. First of all, I'm not the average representation for any woman, a black woman, a white woman. Yes, I do curse. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. I'm a street bitch. I'll curse you out to your face. I do not give a fuck. I'm a rapper. I rap. I curse in my raps. I believe in freedom of speech. Now let's talk about these masculine black women that you came to attack when you came from a black coochie. How dare you? Number one, if blacks are the leader in Planned Parenthood, it's because white people planned it that way. Go look up the history of Planned Parenthood and who made it. The woman who made it is a racist eugenicist. And she made it with the specific intention of going into the black community and destroying black babies. That's why it's so promoted in the black community. Go look up Margaret or whatever the fuck her name is, who made that shit, because she believed in eugenics. She believed that the black people were populating too much, and they haven't even done it just to black people. They went into Puerto Rico and they sterilized the Puerto Ricans. They've been doing sterilizations, abortions, and all kind of shit because they are threatened by black fertility. They're threatened by the intelligence of a black child. You know what you think with? You think with melanin, neuromelanin in your brain. Who has the most melanin? Black people. That's why they are targeting black communities. That's why we got the Colt 45 liquor ad in our community, but you don't see that in the white community. It's purposefully done because they know that black people are stronger than the struggle. We don't glorify the struggle. We made it through the struggle and made it look good. We made it look so good that other people want to copy us. And now we see these white bitches tanning their skin. They got long nails. They got the weaves and extensions in their hair because we made the struggle look good. We make it look great. That's number one. If black women are masculine, it's because they had to be. Willie Lynch was a system in slavery where they took the black man and they emasculated him. And to live and survive, the children had to do what the mother said, and the mother raised them so that they would obey the master, so the system of slavery could keep going. That's number one. Black women are so masculine, yet white people had black wet nurses to nurse their babies while they wanted them to starve their own children. But black women are so masculine. Black women are the epitome of femininity. A skinny woman is not the epitome of femininity. Go look back in ancient times. They have Venus figurines. It's a fat woman. If you have read anything about existentialism, Michel de Montaigne or Michel de Montaigne, he talks about back in society before they had hierarchical society. When you got yourself a woman, you got you a nice plump woman because you knew that that woman was going to be able to sustain having a birth. Not no skinny, frail, weak woman, but a strong, thick woman that's going to birth your baby and help you on the farm and do this and that. The desire for a little small, dainty, delicate woman comes when men have more riches and more resources to support a little weak woman. They know that their child is going to survive. That's an existentialism. Please go read these texts. Michel de Montaigne, he talks all about it, how we went from hunter-gatherer society to how we went to the hierarchical society. Okay? Back in the days, you know who ran it? The strongest, not the weakest. It was survival of the strongest, survival of the fittest. But somewhere, some way, the smart men who were weaker tricked the stronger men into servitude. How is it that one person is sovereign and they are somehow fit to be a king, but yet another person isn't? Somebody got tricked somewhere along the way. Somebody tricked you and you're buying into this hierarchical patriarchy. Back in the days, the oldest figures that they worshiped were goddesses. Goddesses. Seriously. In the Bible, it even talks about them taking down the Asherah poles. In the Bible, it said God had a wife. Her name was Wisdom. Hello? Hello? And you want to say black women are masculine? They're masculine because they have to be. Look at how the system is designed. It's set up for black people to fail. Hello? White people know that they're in the minority globally. So yes, they will do whatever they can to sabotage the black youth, the black people. That's why they have so many things, and it's focused on distracting black people. That's why they sell little black boys the dream that they're going to be a star baseball player. They're going to be in the NBA, and really only 0.4% of people make it to the professional leagues. They are pushing the culture. The same people that own the record companies own the jails. That's why there's a prison pipeline. They want you. They want the music that's promoted. They don't promote the music that is talking about the enrichment of the culture and the enrichment of the community. Those people that own the record company, they do so on purpose so they can have people to fill their jails because they know that music comes with a destructive frequency. It is what it is. I really ain't got to say too much on it. For real. And what other argument did you have? Because I think I pretty much addressed all of them.
Did you want to leave your? Oh, go ahead.
No. I got some more. I got some more. I just thought of something else. All right. And also, you're showing these women that are, these ratchet women. Obviously, they don't represent every black woman. There's tons of soft black girlies. Okay, not every black person is a stereotype or adheres to the stereotypes. There's a lot of rational, intelligent black people that are college educated. They don't talk like that. They don't look like that. They don't dress like that. They don't wear their hair like that. It's a spectrum, just the same way that there's white people in the trailer park or, the super brazier Mexicans in the fucking fields. And then there's the ones that are higher up. It's a spectrum. There's different classes within the community. Yes, some are ratchet. Some are more towards the middle. Some are more affluent. It all depends. But yeah, they put that on us, that Planned Parenthood. Go look up the maker of Planned Parenthood. I'll Google this. This lady was a eugenicist. They specifically wanted to target killing black babies in specific. Her name was, I want to say it was Margaret. Let me look it up.
Sanger.
Yeah. Margaret, that bitch, her dirty ass. She wanted to kill the black babies. That bitch was a eugenicist. And if you know this, why would you even bring that up as an argument? Come on, that's done right there. Are you secretly for the black people? You wanted me to tell the truth about it? Because I'll tell the truth. I'm very pro-black. Black people made everything, and white people stole it and reinvented it and said, we made it. And they tried to burn our fucking libraries, and they took the limestone off our pyramids. And they did so much shit in history just to deny our greatness. Black people made everything first. That's something I learned from birth. That's really it.
All right. Thank you for that opening statement. With that, we're going to get into the rebuttal round. So this is 5 minutes of uninterrupted rebuttal for each to directly respond to the opponent's opening. So this isn't back and forth yet. And then after the rebuttals, we'll get into the open floor back and forth. So with that, we're going to hand the mic back to Martae. Martae, whenever you're ready for your rebuttal, I will start the timer up with your voice.
Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, I just got fucking wrecked bad. My opponent just conceded the whole debate. All she did was say we had to be masculine because that's the whole premise of her argument. If you look at the prompt, it says black women are too masculine. Literally agreeing with everything I said. Matter of fact, and I quote, she wrote this down. She said, black women had to be, I wrote this down. Black women had to be masculine because Willie Lynch, African-American women are very feminine black women that haven't experienced slavery now had to be masculine. So this is the thing, though. You bring up all these premises about why black women had to be masculine. The reason why I brought up the AB rates of deletion is one could say that, yes, there was a plan to create eugenics for black people. I would agree with that, and I'll even concede that to you. However, we live in 2026 where black women do have an option. We're not in civil rights era right now. That's not what we're living in right now. We're not beholden to white people still in it as an absolute. Now people are more like classist systems. If we're talking about that, it's less of racism that's going on right now, more classist systems. You can see this at the pump right now. If you look, the people are struggling every day. Doesn't matter whatever color you're at right now. Your whole response to me was an appeal to our oppressors. And that's what you're doing, is you're giving justification for my argument as to why women have to be masculine. I actually offered a solution, which is what patriarchists do, which is what I do because I'm a man. I came in here and offered a solution for proper propagandization of the nation for nuclear families. I offered tax incentives through a program. I can give you the title to this program that I also invented on the spot too. But also, what I'm saying is your whole argument, once again, was you don't understand we had to be masculine because of this. And that lady wanted to do this. You're blaming white people. All you're doing, and then the premise of you saying that black people made everything is ludicrous. That's insane. Why are black people leaving other countries to come here? Why are everybody else, I'd say lower IQs in those nations like Saudi Arabia, Iran, everything like that, going into other nations from here? They have more melanin than their European counterparts, but they're leaving those trash nations to come here. Why? Oh, because maybe white people create more infrastructure, but that's a whole different argument. That's the argument you're making. I'm not making that argument because I'm sticking to the prompt. The prompt is, lady, black women are too masculine. You're literally agreeing with me when you said we had to be masculine because. And then when I listened to a counter to black women are being too masculine, you then chose to take a masculine demeanor. Before even the debate, ladies and gentlemen, my debate opponent was like, that's why I beat your ass in the last debate. That's why I did. That is not feminine behavior at all. And while you could say, well, there are one-offs in the society of black women doing this, you then appeal to college-educated, independent women by saying not all of them talk like that because women are going to become more independent and educated. And that's feminine? So you're diverting to another form of mask. When you say that there's different spectrums, yes, I would concede and agree with you. There's different spectrums of masculinity. Independence is one form of masculinity. Killing is another form of masculinity. When we talk about this, it doesn't matter who propagandized the nation. If you're fulfilling this agenda by everybody else and picking up the mantle, and this leads to a degenerate culture of masculinization and women going against their nature in modernity. This is literally what women are doing. They're fighting their nature.
Martae, you
can't
muted.
hear you, Martae.
I don't know what you did there. Yeah, you muted there. Yeah, I'll give you another 10 seconds back.
Okay.
It's on the screen.
Can you hear me now?
Muted. It says.
Okay.
There you go.
Anyways,
yeah, I don't know what happened.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. No, she literally conceded the whole debate in her response. And what she did was she made excuses, blamed the white man, and said we had to be masculine because literally you just lost the whole debate. I'm just going to let you know right now, spoiler alert, anybody else is going to watch the remaining hour of this is just going to listen to Cope. But I would challenge you to lean into your femininity during this whole debate, because if you end up pushing and spurting against me and start doing ad homs and all this and being aggressive, you literally know that that's going against the whole prompt yourself by your own conduct code of behavior, right? Just going to tell you right now, because this is literally the tangent that you're on right now. So as we move forward, the best thing I could say is to lean into your feminine era, even in this debate. If you're going to prove the prompt wrong, why not do that? Unless you're going to lean into this masculine nature and then prove me right during the debate. I can see by time.
All right. Thank you for that 5-minute rebuttal. And with that, we're going to hand it back to Love Beautifully. Whenever you're ready for your 5-minute uninterrupted rebuttal, I'll start the timer up with your voice.
All right, I'm ready now. All right, this is the rebuttal. If black women are so masculine, why is there the stereotype of the black mammy, the black mother, Black women are the definition of motherhood, so much to the point where white people had them raise their children. Why did white people have black women raise their children if they're so masculine? Okay, let's talk about figure, because you said petite. Why did Hottentot Venus come around and white people started making big bustles on the back of their dresses and have the corset and tiny and the waist, the corset small and the butt big, because they saw how black women were shaped. That's based off of black women. Let's go. Let's talk about this. You talk about the Willie Lynch. The Willie Lynch permeates the society till this day. People who were on, entitlements, they weren't allowed to have a man in the house. They weren't allowed to have a man in the home. That was the thing. They do things specifically to destroy black families. Is a nuclear family the solution? No, I don't think so. And then you're talking about murder or is a masculine trait. No, it's not. Look at the Indians. They have a goddess called Kali, the destroyer. The destroyer, that's a woman. Okay, so murder, that's human. If my life is in danger and it's me or you, it's you. I don't care. Woman, man, that's self-preservation. That's like the first law of nature. Murder sometimes is necessary to preserve the self. Yes, if somebody comes against you and attacks you, you have the right to defend yourself and protect yourself. And how can a person, it's far more responsible to have an abortion than to bring a child into the world that you don't intend to care for. And you're going to put them in the adoption system where they can get raped or abused or molested. It's a far more mature and responsible thing to just, boom, you know what? It ain't going to work. Everything happens for a reason. Some people have to die, yes, so that others could live. It's very unfair to expect someone to take care of a person and they could barely take care of themselves. If men really cared about abortions, they would get vasectomies until they were ready to have children. And that's just that on that. You talking about lean into my feminine. You surely leaned into your feminine, the way you yap and on and on and on. For real. A real masculine man speaks once. He don't go over the same point and regurgitate 10 million times. He say that shit once, and it is what it is. And fuck who think what it ain't. Period.
Is that all you wanted for your rebuttal? Oh, did you have more?
What was your other point? I think I hit on all of them concisely.
Do you want to just wrap up your rebuttal then and get to the open floor?
Oh, is that it? I thought it's a back and forth for an hour.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's what I'm saying. This is just a rebuttal round. Do you want to get to the open floor? That's what I was asking. Looks like you're ready, though. So let's.
I mean, however, if he got something to say against what I said.
No. That's just each of you get a 5-minute rebuttal, and now we're gonna get into the hour open floor. So thank you both for those rebuttals, okay? And before we get into the open hour, let me just remind the chat, everybody in the chat, okay? If you're watching right now, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to tonight's debaters. Their links are in the description, okay? We host all kinds of debates here, politics, culture, ethics, internet topics, anything where reasoning and passion can collide. So if you enjoy the format, make sure you stay locked in because I have a lot more coming for you, okay? Also, reminder for the live chat, after the closing statements, we're doing the 30-minute Q&A. So I've already put the Q&A in the chat, but remember, Super Chats, PayPal, Cash Apps, these will get priority. And if they fill up the whole 30 minutes, we're not going to get to the free one. So if you have something you really want answered, send it through one of those options, and we'll make sure it gets asked, okay? And finally, thank you to both the debaters for being here tonight and bringing your perspectives into the arena. Whenever one of you is ready to start the open floor, just hop in, and I'll start the timer up with your voice.
So I have a question. You had said something. You said women should be able to kill because kids go right into the system?
No, I said it's more responsible to have an abortion than to have a baby that you don't intend to kill for. I mean, that you don't intend to care for.
Okay, do you know who has the most babies? It's poor people, right?
Yeah.
Right, so this kind of refutes your whole claim. They can't afford these kids, yet they still have the most kids, right?
There's more poor people in the world than there are rich people, just by design. We can't all be rich, or it wouldn't be such a thing as rich.
Correct. I'll even concede that point. But the problem with this is when you're talking about higher affluent families and people middle class, they have more baby deletions than anybody else. And they can afford to have these kids, but instead they're doing
the rich people have the more abortions, or the poor
middle class and upper have the most of these, and they can actually afford these kids more than the poor people who are outproduced.
That goes exactly into what I'm saying, what I said before.
No, that counters what you're saying.
Women, because they want to have the best type of life for their child, and you can't have the best type of life for your child unless you have the best type of life for yourself. So they don't have the baby until they're ready.
Right. So
that makes sense.
So I'm going to ask my question again. Women should be able to kill because kids in system. That's what your argument is.
No, women should have the complete autonomy over their body. If the baby can't survive outside of the body, then the mother is the creator of it. And she should be the one to decide whether it lives or not. Women need autonomy over their body, period.
Autonomy doesn't exist.
They are the ones that have the risk. They are the ones that carry the child.
Bodily autonomy doesn't exist. You realize that, right? True bodily autonomy doesn't exist.
Yes, it does.
Okay,
I agree with Kanye West when he said those slaves were okay with being slaves. I would have Nat Turner.
Okay, so
we gonna end this.
So I'll give you an example. If I go to a hospital and say I want to delete myself,
you might die.
I'm gonna answer that real quick. So if I go to a hospital and say I want to delete myself, can they hold me against my will? Do I have autonomy?
In some countries, you can. There was just a girl in
Spain. We're talking about here.
She got gang raped, and then she tried to kill herself, and then she ended up paralyzed from that. And Spain granted her the right to suicide. They have assisted suicides in higher functioning countries. Such
Let's not say that word. Let's not say the S word.
Sorry, assisted unalivings. I apologize with these liberal snowflake YouTube.
I agree with you. It's liberal snowflake YouTube, right? But I want to preserve this man's channel. He gives us the opportunity to.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, there's some femininity. Oh man, what a breath of fresh air for once. But back to this, in the hospital, if even that example proves my whole premise, she didn't have autonomy. The government told her she had a choice. Because you want to
Honestly,
delete
she
yourself.
did. She just fucked up the first time. She could have killed herself if she wanted to. It was too painful. She didn't
You
want to
don't
go
have
through it.
autonomy. But anyways, we're going away from the prompt. Can we
Yes,
get
you
back to the
do.
prompt?
You have a choice in every moment.
Let's get back to the prompt. So if I go to a hospital and say I want to here anywhere else and say I want to unalive myself, I don't have autonomy. Let's get past that. We can agree to that. That doesn't exist. So if I'm trying to hang myself,
get some drugs and you could shoot them up and you could be gone tomorrow, and that's your choice.
Is somebody allowed to
have
stop
the
me?
choice.
But somebody can stop me. They can use force against me to stop me from having autonomy.
Only if they know your plans. Only if they know your plans. A lot of people that unalive
That's not saying anything.
that try to, they really don't want to. They don't want to hurt themselves. They just want the attention. They want to know if somebody cares for them. That's their thing. They're sad. They're in their mind. They want to know, does people care about me?
It's not a rebuttal.
They're not built like that. It just really is what it is. Or maybe they are. Life is hard. I don't know. I don't want to judge anybody.
None of that was a rebuttal to what I was saying. But back to the topic, though. When you're talking about this, you're saying that nuclear family isn't the solution?
No, it's not. The community is the solution. What's that? Each one teach one. What did they say back in the days?
So single moms.
The village. The village is the solution. That's the solution. The village. It takes a village to raise a child.
In a nuclear family, do you know that there's an extension, be it grandpas, uncles, things like this? That's the nuclear family I'm referring to.
Every family got uncles and grandpas.
Right. Should we keep more nuclear families intact instead of having single moms?
We should keep more communities and villages intact, because
is a nuclear family
for millennia.
Is a nuclear family a subsidiary
of all together in this? We're gonna build walls around our village so other people can't come and hurt us. We're gonna hunt together. Everybody's gonna get something. The hunter, the top hunter, he might get the biggest piece, but he's gonna make sure his people eat. That's why he's the chief. That's what it takes. He paid the cost to be the boss.
Is a new
people
are you gonna filibuster?
We used to live on a barter and trade.
Isn't it a filibuster?
System. So the fisherman had fish, the hunter had meat, the women weaved the basket, somebody did agriculture. It takes a village, a community. We need to go back to the community instead of the selfish being lovers of themselves and the individuality. We got to understand and look that other people have lives that they're living. We got to care about. So
hold on. Let me get in here. Can I talk? Because I got to respond to all this real quick. When you say people got to stop being lovers of themselves and individualistic, you're literally contradicting yourself, because you're saying, I don't want a nuclear family. But then when I ask you, is single motherhood the thing that we should go to? You then filibuster forever. Don't let me get a word in edgewise. This is my question I want to ask you. If a nuclear family isn't the option, and you have two options, and maybe it's a false dialectic that that I'm going to tell you, but at least try to contend with this argument. What would be your solution if not a nuclear family? Because by extension, a nuclear family is a subsidiary of a village. We had grandpas, uncles, things like this in nuclear families.
Okay, and you can have it today. It's the option if people want it. If you want to have a nuclear family, have a nuclear family. Keep your marriage. Don't get divorced. If you don't, then don't. Have the community. My rebuttal to that is the community. We need to bring back community in our lives. Just as simple as that. A lot of people will be a lot more fulfilled, a lot more happier. They'd have a lot more meaning in their lives to live for something else besides their self, and they wouldn't feel so alone and down and lonely.
If we had
to walk outside their door and know that there's a community waiting that cares about them.
Are you a community as a single mom by yourself?
I'm part of a community. I have other people. No, seriously. I have other mothers that are, with me, that help me. Yeah. So I'm part of a community. I have community.
So hold on.
I have family.
So is that your solution? Single motherhood is more optimal than a nuclear family?
I think the community is more optimal than anything else.
No, answer the question.
Your family, you might come from a toxic family. Your family might turn on you.
Can you answer the question? I don't care about your might.
Nuclear family, have a nuclear family. It's nothing.
I don't care about your mights. Can you answer the question?
The community in general needs to come back.
Can you answer the question
about the community? Life will be better. The
Can you
rivers
answer the
will be
question? Which
cleaner.
one's more
The streets will
optimal?
be cleaner. The waters will run cleaner. We have to worry about the things that are going on right now as a community. There are communities that are being affected by these AI data centers polluting their air, polluting their water.
That's not even dealing with the debate. Can you answer the question, please?
I answered it. The solution
You're talking
is
about
community.
air quality and things like
The
that. That has nothing
solution
to
is
do with this.
community, where your friends are your family. I don't know, but in the I don't know what community you grew up with, but in the Black community, our friends are our family. I don't say that's my friend. I say that's my cousin. We're tight like that. We treat each other like family. My friends,
that's your
that's like my
solution.
niece and nephew.
So your solution is single motherhood more optimal than nuclear family because your friends and cousins can be your family.
My solution is that when the community cares, it doesn't matter if a person is single.
That doesn't answer my
talk about single
question.
motherhood. You could be in a nuclear family and your husband or your wife could die that day. Then
No,
what?
I don't care about
Then
your
what?
kids.
No, then what? Then what? What do you do? What do you do at that
Can you
point?
hold on? You got two.
Answer the question, Martae. Don't run away.
I'm the one that
Don't
asked
run,
you a
Martae. I
question.
know you've heard that before.
I'm the one that asked you a question that you still can't answer. I'm asking you again, just to reiterate right now. You're saying that single motherhood, as long as you can have cousins and extension of a community, is more optimal than a nuclear family.
I'm saying that if you are a single mother and you have a community, you will not miss a father in the home because you will have those.
So it's more optimal. So you say it's more optimal than nuclear family than aiming to plan for a nuclear
whatever
family.
you desire for you is optimal.
No, I'm asking you, not me.
Each person is different.
No, I'm asking you.
It's not a one size fits all.
No, your worldview. I'm asking about your worldview, not anybody else's worldview. According to you, single motherhood, as long as we can appeal to cousins, uncles, and things like that outside the home, we don't need a father in the home. And nuclear family is not more optimal.
Your argument, single motherhood produces more feminine type of men than masculine.
What?
So you just said Black women are too masculine.
Hold on. You just made a statement. You said that single motherhoods produce more masculine men, more feminine men, or what?
I said it produces more feminine.
Okay, so hold on. If single motherhood produces more feminine men, wouldn't it make more sense to have more nuclear families and men in the home to produce more masculine men?
No, because if you are a rational person, you're gonna expose your children to different people. You're gonna put them on the sports team. You're gonna send them with their uncle to go fishing so they don't miss out on those experiences.
Hold on.
We all have masculine and feminine energies within us. And how we decide to embody them is up to us. I don't care what other people do with their time and their
if you acknowledge,
if they choose to present masculine, if they choose to present feminine, that's their business. I'm a very big proponent on minding your own business.
So I'm not talking about
life. I promise you.
I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about your own worldview. You just basically said.
I just told you my worldview. I think if the community was a stronger factor, there would be less unalivings of people unaliving themselves. I think people would care more. People wouldn't say, I'm going to go rob that store, because they're going to say, you know what? I know that man in there. That's my friend. He helped me.
We don't need fathers in the home.
And he said, it's okay. Come back the next day.
So are you?
I think the community is the solution. I've never heard it takes a mother and a father to raise
crazy. Let me try to build a bridge here just to see, because I think they might be a little talking past each other. I just want to ask Love Beautifully, are you arguing that, are you saying that single motherhood is more optimal, or that like the community support offsets the disadvantages of not having the father?
I feel like community support offsets it, but as I was going to say, I've never heard that it takes a mother and father to raise a child, but I have heard it takes a village. That's an old saying that's been around for longer than any of us have been alive. And it's a saying for a reason. The village is important. Community is important.
I can concede to that.
There's different types of families. Not every father is good to be around.
Are you just going to be a run-on sentence?
Not every mother is good.
So hold on. When we say that not every mother is good, you just literally said that right now. Every father isn't good, but generally, overwhelmingly, by and large, do you think that more fathers should be in the home?
I think it depends on the father. If they're a good man, then yeah.
No, I'm
Yes,
talking
they're
about
gonna be a
generally.
benefit to
I'm
the
not talking
child,
about
but
if they are. I'm
let's
talking about generally.
okay, let's go into the statistics. You know what the number one cause of death for a pregnant woman is? It's murder at the hands of their husband or man, the father of the child.
What
So
does
I
that
don't
have to
know.
do?
Should a
What does
man
that have
like
to
that
do
be
with
in the home?
anything? What
Should
does
a
that have
man
to do
like
with the
that be in the
argument?
home if he's a danger to the carrier of the child? I'm asking you. Should that man be in the
No.
home?
What does that have to do with the prompt?
Should he be in the home? You just said, is it more beneficial to be a single mother? But yeah, if your child's father is gonna kill you, then yeah, it's more optimal.
So hold on. No, as a prescription, if you are going to make a general prescription for
You
society,
can't prescribe the same medicine for everybody because
no,
there's
you
different
can make
ailments in the world.
a
No, you
general
can't.
prescription. Yes, you
You
can.
can't. It's not a one size fits all.
No,
No.
you can make a general prescription. We can say case by
You
case, but
can't.
generally throughout the population, do you think that nuclear
Generally,
family
it
should be better?
depends on the person. Generally, a woman is more likely to die at the hands of her partner while she's pregnant.
All this is just fear mongering.
Does that mean every man is going to kill the mother of his child? No.
This is feminist.
That doesn't mean that at all.
Just so I can bring us back to the actual topic, how does the argument about, like, for both of you, how does the argument about family structure like directly explain or challenge the claim that Black women are too masculine?
So this challenges the claim. The reason why I brought it up is because I need her to substantiate the fact that if you are masculine as a woman, a Black woman, and then she, by her own admission, says that they're producing feminine men, literally, that's the opposite of what these women are producing. I think that's generally bad for society, especially if you have masculine women running the home. Now, if you have two people in a home, which would be a feminine woman and a masculine man, you're going to produce more masculine men. That's why I brought that up, because if you're going to make a prescription for society, I think that that's better instead of just saying, well, I'll find a cousin and I'll find an uncle somewhere to help me out with my family because I'm a strong Black woman is crazy. That's very masculine, by the way.
Quit confusing strength for masculinity. There's feminine strength and there's masculine strength. Just because a woman has to be strong or she is strong doesn't mean that she's masculine.
If she has to be strong because she's embracing struggle, and what you were talking about before when I asked you a question, you said we have to be
it or fighting against it.
We have to be strong. We had to be masculine for a reason. That's literally what your argument is.
You got to do.
Right. You're conceding the whole debate right now when you say you got to do what you got to do. That's not pushing back against my argument. That's crazy.
I just want to say too, real quick, maybe this will help too. Let's define what we mean by strength. Like, are we talking physical strength, emotional resilience, leadership, independence? What are we meaning when we say strength? So maybe we could see how this equals to masculine. When
I say strength, I'm talking about like a hierarchical place in society, meaning like in the home. If a woman is the only person that could be the man and the woman in the house, maybe the daddy and mom, she's forced to be the dad. And when you're forced to be in this hierarchical role because there isn't a hierarchy, it's only you leading the home, you're forced to be masculine. And it's like for her to say, I have to be, well, I gave her a solution. I said, well, wouldn't it be better for us to have nuclear families so that way somebody could be your masculine side and then you could be the feminine side? She then doesn't contend with the argument. I then tell her, well, this would be a solution. She said, no, because I'm a strong Black woman. I can reach out and get friends or whatever. This is her leading her house. That's very masculine to say, I want to be the leader. I want to be the decision maker, all this because I don't need a man. That's literally what her argument is. This is a very masculine tenet because in a hierarchical role, if you're the leader and you're the decision maker and you don't need a man in the house, that's a very masculine position to take. And then when I say I would like to make a prescription for society, she said, no, you can't do this. It's very case by case. That's literally obfuscating. She's literally running away from answering the question. So, I mean, I don't know what to do with that from here. This is crazy.
I'm realizing she did say, give me 1 second before she ran away there. So I don't know if she heard everything you were saying there.
Oh, she was running.
So he was saying, okay, I kind of heard it. I had to charge up my stuff. But basically he was saying in a hierarchical society, maybe a hierarchical society is not the solution. That's why we're fucked up. That's why we're messed up now. Because the hierarchical, right, of course.
You don't think man should be the head of the home?
Every woman has value. We all have something.
No, I agree.
Going back to the community.
I agree. We have equal value. But in a hierarchical role, do you think men should lead the home generally?
No, I don't think anybody. I think people should be equally yoked. And so what a yoke is, a yoke. Let me finish, baby. A yoke.
I'm not your
ties up
baby, by the
horses.
way. I'm Martae.
Whatever, boo. Whatever.
I'm not your boo either. I'm not. Listen,
Martae, I'm this close to insulting you. I'm trying hard not to.
you're trying hard to not be masculine during this debate. I get it. Cool. All right.
Anyways, equally yoked. That's what most biblical teachings say. Equally yoked. And the yoke goes on horses. You put the bridle on, you yoke the horses up, and they walk together. One horse doesn't go in front of the other. Who's at the head of the horses? God is supposed to be at the head of your relationship.
Who's the Godhead of the relationship?
You both have your own strengths. You both make up for each other's weaknesses. And that's the perfect thing. Nobody leads anybody. Everybody does what they're supposed to do, and the stuff gets done. It's really that simple. Are you looking for a partner, or are you looking for a subordinate?
Okay, so I'll answer the question. The reason why I don't like the word partner is because we're not equal in leadership. We can't be equal in leadership because women do not have the same force doctrine or use of strength or utility that men do. Women do not have this. They can't defend the home as well as men do. It's not going to happen. You can't be a man in the household. This is a ridiculous premise. That's why men have to lead, because if we're going to enforce laws and do all this, we have to back this up with force. Women can't do this at the same rate or metric that men do. Do you understand that?
If men are stronger, why did they invent guns? If they're so strong, they obviously needed more help. And anybody could use a gun.
Well, hold on. That's self-refuting.
I've done it before. No, seriously. Anybody could use a gun. Somebody could come in my house right now and I'll blow their fucking brains out to the floor. I'm not playing with nobody.
Do you know what the stats are?
That stronger argument, it don't work. There's always going to be a person stronger and bigger.
Hold on. Can I tell you stats? You can even look this up right now. Women get disarmed 62% of the time. Men only get disarmed 11% of the time. Do you know why that is?
I'm not giving them a chance to get close.
Hold on.
Right away to the fucking.
This isn't John Wick. You've been watching too many movies.
I will
back to this.
Back. I don't give a fuck.
I'll ask you a question again. Why do you think these are the stats that women get disarmed 62% of the time and men only 11% of the time? Why do you think that is?
Because those women are in their feminine and they're scared. They don't know how to utilize that masculine inside of them. I'll utilize it quickly.
Okay, let me
masculine. I could be feminine when the situation calls for it. If I'm dealing with a bitch, I'm not going to treat him like no king. I'm going to treat a goofy like a goofy.
All right, let me ask you a question.
I know when I'm in the presence of a king versus the presence of a peasant. So if you're having trouble with women treating you a certain way, you need to look at how you're acting.
This is very masculine behavior, by the way. I'm just telling you, you're being very masculine. So let me ask you a question.
I'm from the streets. I'm built like that. I don't
You're
care.
proving my point.
I'm not the representative for the average feminine woman, but Black women are very feminine. Let's talk about the beauty.
Are you being very feminine right now during this debate?
I don't care. I'm not here to please you. I'm here to please me. Fuck you.
That's very masculine, by the way. It's very masculine. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. If you had a gun and I was grabbing your gun, do you think I would be able to take this gun from you?
To the gun, baby.
No. I'm not talking about getting close to a gun. Let's say you had a baseball bat, and I had to disarm you.
I put a sock on it. So the first time you grab it, you grab that sock, and when you holding, looking at the sock on pop.
So do you think? Hold on. No, you're making it up. It's a regular baseball bat.
I put a sock on that bat in a second, baby.
Hold
I know
on.
all the tricks.
You're switching things up as we go. Can we make this plain and simple?
I'm going to disable you, and I'm not going to stop until I know you're not a threat anymore.
Let's make this simple.
If it comes to it, then it is what it is. I'm going to protect mine. I'm a mother. I'm a protector of my cubs, a lioness.
Let's make this simple. There's no sock.
Lions are matriarchal. Bees are matriarchal.
Listen, can you be a little bit more feminine during this debate?
They run by the woman. You come from me. I don't come from you.
So I'll ask you a question.
You grow inside of me, baby. I don't grow inside of you.
What does that have to do with what I'm asking you? So back to this. You have a baseball bat. There's no sock. It's just a regular baseball bat.
It has everything to do with it.
What? Well, can I at least give you the hypothetical? Let me
protection on me, baby. I keep socks on my back at all times.
Let me get
it's a sock on there now. It's a big long ass.
All right, let Martae give his hypothetical, and then Martae, make sure you tie into how it's claim or
right
challenging or claiming black women are too masculine.
I already know that this debate is going to be reviewed. Hyper masculine women defends how women aren't masculine. But anyways, like I was saying, I'm going to give you my hypothetical. Can you at least be good faith and answer this? There's no sock on the baseball bat in Speakeasy. I'll tie this in how this is in relation to the prompt. So if you have a baseball bat and there's no sock and I grab it, do you think and let's look at percentages. Do you think you have a high percentage of taking the bat if this was a tug of war between you and me? Or any man?
I know how to
Most
use
men.
my body. I know how to utilize my body and my force and the force that's used against me.
All right,
I'm trained in several martial arts.
I'm not even gonna engage in hypothetical. That's fine.
Jeet Kune Do, all of that. I've been doing Hapkido since young. So I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for me. I'm getting out of that shit. You might be missing the eye after it. I don't know.
Just understand, though, LBs, that the more you talk, the better my argument looks at this point. Because all you're doing is defending hyper-masculine behavior from women, black women. And when I say this is your worldview. Your worldview is looking extremely masculine.
What about
and Martae, just so
Kali, that's a woman.
Just because maybe she didn't get to hear all of it when she stepped away there. Because remember, we were saying how when we define strength, or are we talking like physical, emotional resilience, independence, these types of things, and then how does it how does that strength equal masculine?
So,
because I don't think she was here to hear all of that. So
for you to be masculine, it goes back to a hierarchical, right? A hierarchical plane that we need. You say that we don't need hierarchies in society.
You don't need it.
So how do you have followers if you don't have a leader?
If everybody knows the knowledge and
so there's no leaders,
then they don't need a leader.
Nobody needs a leader
to tell them what to do.
So in homes, do people have to follow? Who are they following?
Are the ones that are lacking knowledge. So they need the knowledge. But that's the thing about knowledge. The people with the knowledge, the Illuminati,
this is going over your head.
They don't give all of the knowledge on purpose so that people could be lost. But if you religion means control, but the best control is self-control. If
what does that have to do with anything I was talking about?
Let me finish. If you know how to conduct yourself, you don't need a leader. You know who needs leaders? People that want to look up to somebody. They're lost. You know who's supposed to lead you? Your mommy and your dad.
You believe in God.
And once you get to an adult, you're supposed to lead yourself. That's
you
what
believe in God?
That's why they raise you. They put the game in you, and you're supposed to go out and go forth and use it.
Do you believe in God?
Yeah, I believe in God.
Do you follow God?
Every race, every culture believes in the concept of God. Do they agree on exactly
Can you answer
what
the question?
No,
do you follow God?
Everybody believes.
Do you follow God? So you follow somebody. God. You follow a he.
No, God could be a woman. God is undescribable. Religion is trying to.
It says he in the Bible numerous times.
It's trying to put a label on what is unknown. You don't know if God is a woman, God is a man.
It refers to him as he. It refers to him as he in the Bible. When does it say
the Bible ain't the only holy book in the world. There's the Bhagavad Gita. There's the many different books. Those Abrahamic religions refer to God as he, but that's not in every religion. Hello?
So you're appealing to like
some
Shiva goddess
that
culture.
You are the creator.
So before you're appealing to like Shiva goddess culture, things like this, you realize that's making my argument for me when you're leaning to masculine traits in women. How?
It's not though.
How? Can you tell me how?
In that culture, that's a feminine trait. That's why they use the goddess to represent that person. They use a woman to represent that idea.
So how is being a warrior a feminine trait?
They did studies on DNA of the Japanese samurai, and they found that half of them were women. They have known that
I wrote a whole book on this.
There was women Vikings that went to go fight.
That's false. I wrote a whole book on this. This is my wheelhouse. Thank you. Matter of fact, let's delve in here for a minute.
Let's go.
I wrote a book.
Scientific evidence of the Japanese all that was samurai, the warriors. They found out that they were female.
Easy. I'm about to cook here.
Archaeological digs of women with weapons, women that were hunters. It's not.
No, they weren't. So when women
Yes,
were,
they
so
were.
when
Yes,
women
they
were buried,
Yes, they were.
when
What you
women
think
were
they were
buried
just
with
gonna lay down and
jewelry,
die?
those
They're gonna
were
pick up a
royal.
weapon and they're gonna learn so that their kids could eat. Yes.
So hold on,
100%.
all that was debunked, and I can even show you the link and bring up links of how that was
You don't
debunked.
know. You
When they
don't know.
used
They just found a computer in
Just
the
let
city of
him
Greece.
respond. Let him respond.
so I've debunked
You
this.
don't know. They just found computer in the Sea of Greece, and they said, "Damn, how could they have
Take
the
easy.
technology to
All right,
know
all right.
that
You gonna
back
let
then?"
this woman
You
dominate you?
gotta let Martae respond and then respond back to him. Go ahead.
Yeah, she's not in her feminine. She's being very masculine, and she's not letting anybody respond because she has
Am I
to dominate.
masculine or are you just a bitch? Be real.
Look, very masculine behavior, by the way. So back to this, I wrote a book called The Female Warrior Fallacy. It's like probably 4 months to completion. When they did dig up soil samples, they found out that when the women were buried, there was no chips to their bones. There was no injuries. They were royalty. So the reason why they knew that these women were royalty was because when they were buried with a lot of these, I would say, artifacts, they had a lot of jewelry, a lot of high price value. And then shield maidens were the best thing that you could call cheerleaders on the side. None of them were warrior culture. All of this was debunked in my book, The Female Warrior Fallacy. I can do a deep dive on. Matter of fact, I should do a podcast on this. All of this was debunked. We can all look this up at our fingertips of Google.
All right, I Googled it. Ona Bugeisha were highly trained female warriors in feudal Japan from the samurai class, skilled martial arts.
Okay.
Skilled in martial arts and weaponry.
Let me respond
defended
to it.
homes and cattle. They fought alongside men. While often overlooked, they played significant
Let me
roles
respond
in
to this.
combat throughout Japanese history, challenging traditional gender roles.
I can respond to this.
If men are so naturally leaders, then why are they having trouble?
Yeah, let me respond to
You
your first
got 99
claim.
problems, and bitches are all of them because you ain't no natural leader.
Let me respond to your first claim. So the first claim, the reason why those women were bodyguards is because they had a problem with infidelity. When they had male bodyguards, they would typically sleep with the queen and they had infidelity problems. That's why they had to train women.
They had eunuchs.
Around the
They
wife.
had eunuchs back in those days.
I'm not talking about
cut
that.
Their penis off so fast, so they can't.
Not in that culture. They didn't have eunuchs in that culture. I can prove that. So do you know why
Japanese people have eunuchs?
No, not in that culture that you're describing. I actually wrote a book on this. So the reason why they had
eunuchs in feudal Japan.
Can I at least finish a response first? So
okay,
the
you're
reason
right about
why
that. I'll give you that.
So the reason why they had to assign female warriors next to these people, and they didn't fight next to men in battle. That was never the case. That never happened. So the reason why they assigned female warriors is because they had an infidelity problem and they didn't want men sleeping with their wife. So the king, or whatever magistrate he was, the masculine person in the household, assigned women to bodyguard that woman because they had a problem with that. And they didn't want anybody sleeping with his wife. They eliminated that problem, but these women were not soldiers. They weren't foot soldiers at all. They, at the very best, they walk with her if anything happens. That was a stopgap, basically, in security. That's all they were. They weren't warriors that fought alongside men. That never happened in history. Never.
Plausible models range from 30 to 50% female participation, indicating for big game hunters. So everybody was a hunter back in the hunter-gatherer period.
That's also false.
That's the truth. How are you going to argue with science? How are you going to argue?
The reason why is because that researcher, her name was Sally Levins, and Sally Levins got debunked on the Discovery Channel when they brought up her conclusion. She was paid by a private think tank to write all this feminist propaganda. All that was debunked in my book too.
That the results you see haven't been tampered with.
Because a lot of these were pointed out and debunked.
Because you don't know.
They traced the money back to private feminist think tanks. No, we do.
We don't know.
We trace back the money
right now in front of us.
They trace back the money to feminist private think tanks, which debunked all this scientific data that they've had. All that was debunked, and she was shamed out of the community.
This is from a governmental website. It says .gov.
No,
National Library of Medicine.
Do you know what a private think tank is?
Yeah, I know. It's when people they want a certain outcome, so they pay people to find that. But you could say that about anything. You could say that about the male,
when they follow the money,
ideology and the male structure. Why do they have whole religions to try to keep women down?
Let's get back to the argument.
They did that on purpose. They did that on purpose so women wouldn't have any power.
We're still off base of the argument. Let's get back to the argument.
They did it on purpose, just like with the black people. They want to keep them down because we have more melanin, and you use melanin to think, neuromelanin. The women have too much power, and they know that.
So can you tell me how?
Teach a person, a woman could teach a nation. We build a nation. We build the children. The children are the future. Women make the future. How we.
So women should be leaders of society.
Women are leaders. Women are leaders. Who do you go to for advice and for knowledge? You go to grandma.
Men.
You put your head on your
I go to strong men around me.
What's up?
So you think, so hold on. Can I ask you a question? Do you think from now on we should appeal to women for direction in society?
I think we should appeal to people who are critical thinkers.
No. Can you answer the question? That doesn't answer.
I did answer.
Women.
I'm not. It's not a yes or no.
That doesn't answer the question. You said
whoever has the knowledge, whether that be a man, whether that be a woman. The knowledge it's gender neutral. Anybody can have the knowledge.
No. Can you answer?
Men could have the knowledge, or women could have the knowledge.
Very bad faith.
Mason, where does it come from?
There are only two sexes.
Game to the sons. Period.
There are only two genders on this planet. Which one should we appeal to for leadership?
We should appeal to the intelligent people.
Generally speaking, which one should we appeal to more? Because you're going to appeal to one or the other more. Which one should we appeal to?
Whoever is more intelligent, whether that be a man or a woman.
This is crazy. Speak. I don't even know what to do with this. This is crazy.
Oh, your mic's roboting. Love beautifully. Your mic's roboting. I don't know if you need to. Yeah, if you have to drop and come back up, that's fine.
That's crazy. I can't. My brain hurts right now. This is insane. This is crazy. The obfuscation was wild. I'm gonna be nice and wait because I don't want to. I don't want to be trying to dunk on somebody that's not here or trying to debate somebody that's not here. So I'm going to set a good example as a leader and kind of wait my time and be patient.
I don't know if she even exited. It shows her still here. Oh, there we go, I think. Back.
Let's get it.
All right. So just real quick too, because seems like we're talking about like women in history being warriors and stuff. So it seems like Martae, you're saying that like the physical strength is a masculine trait. So it is love beautifully. Are you saying because we can see in history there were some women warriors, that means strength is not strictly masculine? Or
I think that strength is an admirable trait in either gender. I think it's beautiful to care about your body and to push it to the point where you master it, that you're able to master your environment. And yeah, I don't think it's feminine or masculine. I think men, like in nature, the male species is more attractive. So I think men have to work harder to be attractive, to be able to get the attention of women. But in our society as humans, we have money. So that kind of changes things. So the men who have the more money, they're more able to provide the resources. So maybe back before the hierarchical society, before the invention of money, the strongest man, that's the one you were going to look at and say, oh, that's the one I want because he's going to protect me. He's going to protect my children, my family. But now that money is a thing, women don't look at the physical strength so much as they look at the material means that a man has to take care of them and their children. So they don't care if the man looks good, like the animals, the male animals look better. They care, does the man have the means? So a lot of women are told, oh, it doesn't matter how he looks. They're just told to go for the man that could provide financially. And that's not always the physically strongest man.
So I'll even respond to all this nonsense right now that you're espousing. I do truly believe it's nonsense, and I can debunk all this. If an EMP hit society today, and currency meant nothing overnight, you would definitely be in a hierarchical role. Even today, it would be magnified even more. We've had hierarchies back then. We have hierarchical roles this day. Even nowadays, we do. We could talk about societal roles as far as like classist systems. That's a hierarchy too. So when you say that we don't have hierarchies and we don't need this, if you're going to have a mother and father in the life of a child, somebody has to lead. You can't have a household and say both people are going to drive. If you have a car and there's two steering wheels in a car, you're going to crash because one person has to lead. The reason why we have leaders, and the reason why I'm going to talk about strength, because Speakeasy brought this up, and I'm going to expound on this, and I'm going to make this real fast and not filibuster. The reason why we have to have men lead is because we can enforce said leadership. We can enforce said rule of law. If things go down to it and the person has to push back, for rights don't even exist. Matter of fact, the only thing that helps this right thing to even remotely exist outside of your head is force. All rights are is force moving from goalpost to goalpost, and men have a monopoly on force. And when you take men who have a monopoly on force, they should lead, because if a woman is leading the household, she can't defend the household as good as this man can generally, overwhelmingly, by and large. That's why men need to lead. We need to defer to men for their leadership. So when I brought up God and Christ and everybody like that, he's referred to as a he. Most gods are he's, even in other religions. The reason why is because we have to have somebody else with a high propensity of violence and be able to defend these laws and rights that we have. Women can't do that. They've never done this in society. All this is just feminist propaganda.
Okay, so to go over your point, you said men need to be the leaders because women don't have the propensity to lead. But if you have a strong integrity inside of yourself, you have like principles, morals, and values that you stand on, you don't need anybody to lead you because you have that inside of you. You operate on a certain system. Now, if I come together with a man and he has his own integrity, he has his own morals, principles, and values, we don't need anybody to stand over us and tell us what to do because we know the right thing to do. Who should be the leader? God. What is God? The thought of justice, rightness, morality, and being a good person. Every religion in the world says the same thing. Be a good person. Do good unto others. Help people. That's really basically the gist of it. Now, if you want to call it God or Brahma or Chikwu or whatever, that's basically it. Be a good person and help people. When people don't have that integrity, that's when you see these people going robbing, killing people. They don't care. And how do we do that? We instill that in them. So everybody they meet.
So if somebody goes up to your door
in the community, if they see Uncle Charlie, and Uncle Charlie is reading books in the library and he's teaching people how to fish, as opposed to Uncle Charlie is smoking crack in the alley, then they'll see that a lot of people don't have morals on which they stand on inside themselves. It comes from within. If you have it within, you don't need nobody to tell you what to do because you know what to do.
So do you think that we automatically know what to do in society? If somebody came up to your door and said, nope, you can't have these laws anymore, you can't have these rights, and they have more force than you do, what are you going to do about it if there's a bunch of men at your door and you're a bunch of women?
You might have to die and come back again. I don't know. But the whole point is, if everybody knew it, you wouldn't have men coming up to your door.
No, that's
being instilled from a young age. Should a man be a leader? Should a woman be a leader? The person with more sense should be the leader.
How do you determine who has more sense?
Doesn't matter, man or woman.
How do you determine who has more sense?
You look at them and see how they conduct themselves, how they talk, how they deal with situations.
What are you grounding this on? What are you grounding this on?
You know, the evidence of absence is not the absence of evidence. What's understood don't got to be explained. It's intrinsic. I was born with this knowledge. I've known this shit since I could put it into words. Some people have a connection to the divine, and some people, I don't know, their conscience is blocked. But if you are a person that listens to your conscience, you don't need anybody to tell you the right thing to do because you know right from wrong. Even babies know right from wrong without anybody telling them.
So I want to speak to the audience real quick. This is why women should not lead households if they don't have an epistemic foundation or justification for what they do. They can't appeal to anything for morality. And she just demonstrated that right now. It's appeal to me, goddess mindset. That's all we have. We automatically inherently know right from wrong, but you can't appeal to anything else. This is why their kingdoms in whenever you have women, they never rise up and overthrow governments. It's never happened in history. Women have never rose up and overthrown.
The kingdom of
leadership.
Bhutan is
happened.
matriarchal. Bhutan is one of the cleanest countries in the world. They have no carbon footprint. In fact, they offset the carbon footprint from how nice it is, how beautiful the forests and the nature are in that country. And the property is matrilineal. So it's passed from the women's family. That's a country. You said there's never been in history. Well, there is. And there's probably more, but with the conquest of the colonization of the Abrahamic religions that are also trying to kill everybody and rape and murder and pillage, it's been erased.
Wait, so Christianity's a murder culture?
Who did the Crusades in the name of Christ? They're bombing people in Gaza now in the name of God because they said God.
Hold on. You're making all these.
Real.
Hold on, LB, can you answer a question?
What's going on in the world? And
what country?
Trying to argue about men.
Hold on. So you said Christianity's
more important stuff going on.
You said Christianity's a death cult.
Bullshit.
You said Christianity's a death cult. Where are Christians stoning people? What country are Christians stoning people?
They were doing it. The Jewish religion was doing it back.
Those aren't Christians.
Jesus
those are Jews.
In front of a woman and said, "He who is without sin cast the first stone." They've been doing it since the beginning of history.
No, that's an argument not to hurt people.
You read the same Bible as me, and you.
That's an argument not to kill. That's an argument not to kill from Christianity. You just refuted your whole statement right now. Can you show me a nation where Christians are stoning people?
All right, well, show me where Jesus Christ.
No, answer the question.
No, answer mine. Where did Jesus Christ say that men should be the leaders? Because he didn't.
You're not going to answer the question.
Where did Jesus Christ say that men should be the leaders? Show me that. If you show me that, I'll shut up.
So in the Bible, man.
That's what I thought.
Man is the Godhead. Christ is the Godhead.
That's in the Old Testament. Show me in Jesus Christ.
Christ was the Godhead.
Where Jesus said that women should follow men.
Okay.
Show me that.
Okay, I'm answering your question, but you keep interjecting.
That the first part of the Bible is basically the Torah. It's basically the Jewish. It started Jewish and then it split off to the Christians.
You're interjecting all the time. You can't even let me answer the question.
That the man should lead. It don't. That debunks your argument right there. Show me in the New Testament where Jesus said men should lead. He never says that.
The whole Bible talks about how men should lead nations.
The Old Testament says that.
So
so I can make sure we're still on topic and connecting to the original claim. I just want to ask for Love Beautifully, are you saying like religious frameworks like caused or influenced what's labeled as masculinity in Black women?
I think there's a lot of causes that add to it. It's not necessarily just religious, but
you're saying there is a connection there.
Well, no, I think that it has to do a lot with chattel slavery, which is a lot of what's going on in the Black community has to do with that. I think it stems from Willie Lynch, the way that they divided people. Crazy. And even still to this day, they're from Willie Lynch, we're having debates about light skin and dark skin, man versus woman, old versus young. What he did was very pervasive, and it still continues on in our society to this day.
What is that got to do with
the number psychologically? It's known that in the epigenetics of people, that the trauma that they experience expresses itself in our day-to-day lives. You know, if your father went through a trauma, it could express itself in you. You might be more prone to be an alcoholic because maybe your father was one. It just is what it is.
So I'll answer a question real quick. That's going to just
the Abrahamic religions promote the male over the female. That's what I will say, but that's not necessarily every religion. Like I said, the Indians have gods and goddesses.
I have a direct question to the debate. Do you believe that you've exhibited feminine traits during this whole debate?
Do I believe I care? Do you believe I care? Ask yourself that question.
All right,
I
but
give a fuck. I don't.
so you're going to be a question avoiding machine this whole debate.
You haven't made one solid point. Every point that you've made, I've struck it down like a lightning bolt from the sky.
So when I brought up baby deletion and referred to this as a killing culture related to masculinity, you didn't debunk that. When I brought up single motherhood, you literally
I said that
defended
Indians
it.
have a goddess that
I didn't
does a
interrupt
killer
you.
that's feminine.
I didn't
So that
interrupt you this
debunks
whole
that.
time. I didn't interrupt. I let you talk. It's my turn. So because you asked me, and I'm going to demonstrate why you didn't debunk anything that I ever said. When I brought up the single motherhood rates in the beginning of this, you literally defended single motherhood and independence, which is a very masculine trait because now if you're single and you're independent, you now have to defend such independence that you have, which is what masculinity has done. Otherwise, your lineage got destroyed in history. And then the other thing that I brought up in this culture, the way that you talk, your lingo during this whole debate. And then when I ask you, because you're a black woman that unless you identify as anything else, you're being very masculine. Your behavior is very masculine. You say, what does that have to do with the debate? The prompt is black women are too masculine. I think that if women in your feminine era,
I'm going to be masculine. I don't give a fuck. I eat noodles, no packet.
Very, very masculine. So anyways, you're just conceding this whole debate to me the whole time, but you're saying you're winning. This is crazy.
Anyways, like I said, there's different representations of femininity across different. I let you speak. There's different representations of femininity across different cultures. In India, they have a goddess that's a killer, that's a woman, Kali, the destroyer. So that right there debunks the argument that killing is a only masculine. Killing is for the survival of the person. If you have to kill to survive, then maybe that's what it is, man or woman.
Can I ask you a question?
Survival of the fittest.
When people delete babies, what's the reason why most women delete babies?
They're not ready in their life, and maybe they don't have.
Okay, is that defense of self? Is that defense of self?
Yeah.
No.
If you have a baby and that baby's going to drag you down because you can't take care of it, yeah, you got to preserve yourself.
So you have to wait, hold on. So you have to delete your baby to defend yourself against that baby's existence?
If you can barely take care of yourself and adding a baby is going to make you go underwater and you're not able to do it, you're already struggling.
Okay.
Yeah, self-preservation.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll concede 100%. That. I'll concede even that point, and still, I just want an honest answer, even if I concede this. Wouldn't it be simpler if you vetted men who can lead and then close your legs and make better decisions?
Wouldn't it be simpler if men
I can't even ask you a question.
Or they had vasectomy? Wouldn't it be simpler if men had vasectomy until they were ready?
Can I ask you a question?
You want to put all the blame on the woman. It takes two to tango.
So do you think that men should get vasectomies or women should abstain? Which one do you think is more optimal? Men getting vasectomies or women making better decisions with who they sleep with too?
The vasectomy, because then the man can choose the woman that he wants to have kids with, and he won't have any complaints about his baby mama.
Okay, so men shouldn't have an invasive procedure when women can just say, no, I'm going to vet people more carefully. Men should go through an invasive procedure. We should get surgery because we can't make up our own minds and abstain from sex.
An abortion is a surgery. So I think women have.
No, you're avoiding abortion.
Body autonomy, and they have the option to delete it.
No, you have
I think an abortion is way more invasive than a vasectomy. A vasectomy only takes like 30 minutes, if that.
If you abstain,
I just want to say this is going like way off topic now, right?
Yeah, we're way off topic. She's making really bad arguments too.
Yeah, so let's get back to like whether certain behaviors are labeled as masculine and why, right? Not abortion policies.
So okay, good. Okay, because she's making really bad arguments. I'll get back to the topic. It's just insane.
Here, 1 second. I might have to pause the timer again. I think you're roboting again there. Love beautifully. Could you talk again for me? Oh, maybe she's completely cut out now. Yeah, I think you're gonna have to go down and restart there. Oh, there we go. She's back. All right, and let's see, just do a mic check quick. See if you're still roboting.
Hello. Is it me?
Okay, that's better. Let me, because there's two of you here. Let me try this. Okay, there you go. All right, perfect. All right, go ahead and get back into it because we were getting way off topic
If
there.
women-
You know, it's about like
Can't
the
hear you,
debate's
Martae.
more about whether certain behaviors are labeled as masculine and why, right?
So if women are cursing
We can't hear you, Martae.
Okay, hold on real quick.
Well, no, I hear him. You don't hear Martae?
I can't hear him. No.
Try talking again,
Okay.
Martae.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Try to come out and
10-4 copy. Can you hear me?
I can't hear shit he's saying.
You can't hear what he said. All right, you might have
Not
to
a
do it
word.
again. Try jumping and coming back again.
This is a crazy debate, by the way. I'm just gonna say this is pretty wild.
Yeah, definitely an interesting topic.
Damn, this is crazy. Like, oh man, I think that when women use vulgarity heavily and then say I don't give a fuck, I think that's probably some of the least feminine characterization we can have, even by our own admittance. And then when I ask you about this and say, well, if you're speaking like this and carrying yourself on this,
can you hear him now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm gonna be the first to admit, like I embrace a lot of masculine qualities. Like I was a daddy's girl to the point where I wanted to be just like my dad. You know, that everything that my dad did, I wanted to do. You know, I was very tomboyish coming up. And I'm not the girliest girl. Like I said, I'm not the representation of Black femininity, but there are those soft Black girls out there. They're very, for me, I think a lot of feminine traits are manipulative. I'm more so a direct person. I'm gonna say what it is. I'm not gonna try to manipulate or beguile anyone. But that's just me. That's just me. I'm more so an outspoken person. I feel like I embrace and embody both my masculine and my feminine. I'm a complete being.
Do you think that men should embrace their feminine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you think that we have an overcorrection of femininity in men in 2026?
I think men are so focused on trying to be masculine that it's kind of like a joke. Like you have these people, that dude Clavicular or
we
whatever
shouldn't focus on being masculine.
He's a joke. A real masculinity is solemn. It's silent. You know, it's very action oriented. It's not about bravado. It's not about show. It's not about how you look. You know, a man, he does what he says and he says what he does. Like it's real simple and to the point.
Okay, so you said that warrior culture is attributed to femininity. You said that warrior culture is feminine, right?
No, I said it can. It depends on what lens you look at it. Certain cultures, they have feminine warriors. They have the feminine representation for that archetype.
So outside of a female god, right? Can you point to anybody else who we should pattern ourselves after that's a part of warrior culture that women should embolden themselves after and be feminine still?
What man from warrior culture should we embolden ourselves after?
You're asking me a question.
If there is a warrior, there's a fight that needs to be fought.
Can you answer the question?
What are we fighting for? What if things been fought for? They've been fought for resources.
Can you answer the question?
Why are people fighting? Because either resources.
Do you want me to answer your questions only, or what? Should I just only answer your question?
What male figure should we embolden ourselves to? Which one?
I would say Christ.
Christ wasn't a warrior.
Christ wasn't a warrior, the man that flipped tables, the man that said you should pick up a sword, trade it in for your cape. That guy Christ wasn't a warrior.
He was a warrior of God, but he didn't.
So he was a warrior.
Let's come together and let's fight and let's take other people's stuff. Look at Donald Trump right now. He's eyeing the oil in No,
Iran. You just asked me. Can you answer my question now? I just answer yours. Can you answer my question? What warrior do you think women should emulate that's going to make them more feminine? Can you point to in our culture?
Anybody could follow Jesus Christ. Show me in the Bible where Jesus Christ says a woman should follow a man.
This is the second time you're not answering a question.
And that's the third time you haven't had an answer because he doesn't say that. He says follow God. He says to follow God. He doesn't. That's not what I'm asking. Follow a man. He says everybody to follow God.
Are you listening to this debate right now? Are you here with us right now? I'm very confused.
Yeah, and I've asked you, where does Jesus Christ say for
Yeah,
a
but
woman to follow a man? It's nowhere.
he
Nowhere.
does say this. He does say this a lot. And not only this, the
Where?
Bible emphasizes
Name
this
a verse.
all over the Bible. I'm not going to
Name
go
a
into,
verse where Jesus says
I'm
it.
not going to do an exegesis.
Because you
You know what?
can't.
Let's get back to the topic. Let's get back to the topic because I'm not
Please.
going to do an exegesis. So, black women are too masculine. Do you think they're more masculine in 2026 or more feminine?
I think that that's a stereotype. I think you went and on the internet and found the worst representations of black people that you could find.
No,
People
can you
that's
answer
on
the question?
EBT and Section 8.
I'm
and
asking
that's
what you
ratchet.
think.
And every black person is not like that.
I don't care.
I don't know
I'm
what
asking you
black
your
girl hurt
worldview.
you,
In
but
your
all black
worldview,
people do not act like that. All black people are not caricatures and
no,
stereotypes.
I'm asking you, what do you think? Do you think women are more masculine in 2026 or more feminine in 2026? You, not me. I don't care about me.
Do I
Do
think
you think
black
this?
women? I think women in general are more masculine. Even the white women, they're divorcing their husbands.
Take easy.
You know,
She
I
just
think
conceded the whole debate. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy work, bro.
you said our black women are more
Well,
masculine. You're trying to demonize black women, and it's not cute.
I'm not demonizing black women. I'm asking.
well, okay. So just to be fair, the debate prompt is too masculine, right?
Yeah.
Not that they've gotten more masculine.
More or two. Do you think black,
Right,
do you
so-
think black women are
I
too
think-
masculine?
I
Black-
think what like a good way to make sure we're staying on this is like defining these masculine traits and why they are masculine or not, right? We spent a lot of time on like strength, right? If maybe you guys want to like move to another masculine trait that you could think of.
So when you talk about killing culture and murder culture, I looked it up and actually posted the link, not the link, but I posted from Google my source and the opening video that I showed that it's linked and characterized with more masculine traits than anything. It's more of a masculine trait than anything else because when it comes to life preservation, in order to protect your lineage and protect your bloodline, you have to be violent. You have to exhibit and premiere extreme violence to protect your lineage, your prodigy. And when it comes to this, that's a very masculine trait. It's one of the least feminine traits you'll have. So when we talk about this, black women kill more babies on average. They're leading in this. And then when I asked her this question, I said, and then she says, well, we have to, which literally concedes the whole debate. So when we talk about masculinity, killing culture is very masculine. Murderous culture is very masculine.
Okay, this is the thing. White women, they have a Freya, that's like a Norse goddess. She embodies the murder culture, the fight culture. Yeah. Have you ever heard of Freya?
In 2026,
she's a warrior goddess.
Who's murdering more people?
Let me finish. And you're saying that black women are so masculine. We're so masculine. You're confusing confidence with masculinity. You're confusing emotional strength with masculinity. You're confusing the ability to bear the burden of the struggle with masculinity. Those are not masculine.
I didn't see any of that.
You are.
When did I say bear the burden? When did I say any of this?
I said that. You are confusing that.
Right. You said this. I didn't say, you're putting words in my mouth.
What's masculinity to you? Martae, I'm asking you a question. What's masculinity? Define it.
So masculinity, I went down the traits of masculinity and exhibited what the black women community does. Murder culture, and they're leading in those rates. Single independent mama culture.
Every culture has a warrior goddess. So
you
that's not a masculine.
Can I answer your question? Can you allow me to finish answering your question? You interrupt. Okay, so when I talked about this, murder culture and perpetuating this is associated with masculinity, i.e. violence. And then we talked about single motherhoods, which black women lead the race, and all women, when we talk about all the stats, they're leading an independent culture. That's pretty masculine, if you ask me.
That comes from Willie Lynch. That comes from them not wanting the fathers in the home.
Just let him wrap it up. Just let him wrap it up. He was right at the end there. Let him wrap it up.
So when you're the independent single woman, you also have to be the defender of the home. And because men can't do that if you're the woman and you're by yourself. And then not to mention this, but the whole debate, you've exhibited this, like not allowing me to finish things and interjecting the whole time. To me, I think that those are two traits that I can give right off the bat. And these are statistically proven that women are leading. You can't show me otherwise, that women aren't killing their babies more than any other race, black women, and also independent baby mama culture more than any other race. The independent defense of self is very masculine.
If they don't have a man to defend them, then who's going to defend them?
Who initiates the most divorces, women or men?
Let's be real. These people aren't even married. Let's be serious about that.
Okay.
Before the EBT epidemic, you know who the highest rate of married people was? It was black people. Then they came and they said, you can't get this assistance if there's a man in the house. So it's been strategically done to separate the black family.
Did women buy into this?
Against the black family? It's looking like it. It's looking like it with slavery.
Did women buy into this? Did women buy into this, and are they still continuing this trend now?
Were they bought into it or were they forced into it? You just said nobody has control over their self.
They didn't force black women into this. Women weren't forced into this.
That nobody has autonomy. Maybe that's the choice they had to choose. If you know that you're going to get food stamps every month and you don't know if Johnny is going to have a job or not, because it's hard, nobody wants to employ him because he's a black man, you're going to take the sure thing over something that's unsure. So you have to, the question is, why are all these things done purposefully to target the black community? Why do we have the highest rates of advertisements for cigarettes and beer and the things that are negative as opposed to a white community?
What does the FDA have to do with this argument right now? You're making a tangential argument, but back to this.
It's not the FDA. Like,
are cigarettes and alcohol drugs and food?
Why
is that
do
food
the
and
same
drug?
People that promote the murder music, why do they own the jails?
You're like all over the place.
Why do the same people that own the record companies that promote the murder music, why do they own the jails? Ask yourself that.
That has nothing to do with the topic.
It has everything to do with it.
Can you tell me how this has to do with black women being too masculine?
Destructive.
Can you tell me how this has to
promote the murder culture? They promote the destruction. There's elements of feminine goddesses that kill in every culture. The Norse have Freya.
Every culture? What about Christianity?
And there's probably more. I haven't studied it, but those
Christianity?
are the ones I can think of.
What about Mormonism?
Those are Abrahamic religions. Those are Abrahamic religions that are designed to control women.
Mormonism is an Abrahamic religion.
It stems from an Abrahamic religion. And
no, you said every culture. You're making really bad arguments right now.
Every culture where a man said that God told him, and it's okay for him to have 15, 14-year-old brides. Yeah, that's the one we want to look at and say it's okay. That's not okay. That's wrong. Hello, I don't agree with that.
I never even brought that up. What are you talking about?
Show me where Jesus Christ said that a woman should follow a man.
Christ said, follow him. Is he not a man?
He's not a man like a husband. He's a deity.
Wait, is he not man too?
He's a deity. He's a deity. He's not here to have a
was he flesh and blood
family.
Here? Did Christ say, follow me?
Sense of a nuclear family. He
Can I answer a question? I want to answer a question. You ask questions, but then you don't want me to answer this. When you said, where did Christ tell us to follow a man? But he said, follow me through, you can only go through God through me. Isn't that following a man if we're following Christ, who he himself was also man?
That's a fallacy in itself, because there's somebody in Africa right now that
never
heard of Jesus Christ, that got a deep connection to God and a deep connection to the divine. Hello.
Yo, this is wild, bro.
I just want to say too, real quick, because it seems like in a lot of points, you guys are both agreeing that these masculine traits are like influenced by society. Is that correct? Just to be clear.
I would agree with that. It depends on the culture.
I would say that black women are perpetuating this. They can stop if they lean into their feminine nature, their subservient nature, their nature to go ahead and allow men to lead, competent men, but they're not doing that in society because
Yeah, but are you agreeing that the cause is like external?
I'm not going. We live in 2026 when women can make up their own decisions and not blame.
You think
feminist
femininity
propaganda
is
on everything.
submission. You think femininity is to be submissive to a man, and it's not. Femininity is not submission at all.
Yes, it's
In the
very
Bible,
it's very feminine
the
to be
one
submissive
who-
to a man. Yes.
The one, no.
Well, I was
no,
just
it's
gonna
not.
say, like, if
That's
you
why
are
have
if you
trouble
guys
in the relationship.
if you guys agree that the cause is external, I guess the real question becomes like, are these behaviors accurately being labeled as masculine, or are we mislabeling like adaptive traits?
No, it's
like
adaptive.
Like, are you saying
it's not adaptive to kill your own newborn in mass when we're saying 98% of babies at these agencies are elective? That's literally you just making a decision. If we're talking about force doctrine or you having to be in some survival state, that would be like grape culture. That would be like, baby, I'm going to die if I have this baby. That's like less than 1% of the population on both those spectrums. But if we're talking about 98%, these are elective, meaning they're empowered. They're strong black women. I can kill my own because by her own admission, she's saying, well, I need to preserve myself and defend myself against this baby because it's just going to be born. And then even though poor people are having the most babies more than anything, that doesn't make any sense to me. Which is very masculine when you're murdering anything and removing life from anything else.
I think she might have hit something there by accident.
This whole debate was wild. I don't even. This is crazy. She said that the whole thing about Christ was crazy. That this is crazy.
Yeah. So I just want to maybe get a question for both of you. Then I guess if you guys are saying that like women nowadays and black women nowadays are adopting traits that are traditionally associated with men, does that make those women now masculine, or does it challenge like what masculinity is?
That's a smart question. Yeah, what's masculinity, Martae? What's your definition of masculinity?
Masculinity is like, I would even look to Christ for this. He was meek to the nth degree. He was also fierce to the nth degree. Christ also talked about, us following and suffering and having discipline and leading and not like feeding into our flesh, our fleshly desires, and not being individualistic people. But your argument was like, well, we should be able to do this. As long as I can have people around me, I don't need no man and doing all this. But Christ talked about this. He did talk
Community
about
is not individual.
He talked about wives cleaving to their husband. He talked about this the whole time. And when he talked about this, he did talk about nuclear families and families being intact together the whole time. But your argument is like, I don't care. We shouldn't have nuclear families. As long as we have aunties and nieces and everybody else we can appeal to, I don't need no man around. To me, I think that's very masculine because it puts you in a survival state where you have to just survive and lean on somebody else because you don't have a man to defend you. You have to be the defender yourself. That's very masculine.
So do you think every woman should lean on a man?
I think most women should. Yeah.
Okay, and who do the men lean on?
Christ.
Okay, so they're also following another man.
Yeah. We all should follow Christ. Women and men. We're following a man.
We all should follow Christ. I agree with that.
Who was a man?
So
you have to follow man, right? Christ was a man and we have to follow Christ, right?
No, we don't have to do anything. I think you should follow yourself. I think you should have integrity within yourself. This is the thing. Religion was made to tell people how to act because people weren't acting right. They weren't being raised right.
So I'll agree with you.
They had religion.
I'll agree with you that Christ had to come to show us the way, right? Because by our own standards, independent of Christ and God, we are losers. We are lost amongst our way. That's why we have to follow a man. That man was flesh and blood as well, too. In his nature, that man was Christ. We have to follow a man.
What about the people that don't follow Christ? What about the other religions out there?
Yeah, how well are they doing? How well is Islam doing? Killing babies, killing women, doing all this Sharia law.
Too. They follow Muhammad. They also follow a man.
Yeah. Do you think that so hold on. They're not following a woman, right?
But they're following a man and they're killing babies.
Right.
Hello?
So we have to also vet people to pick good. This is the problem with the black community of
So
women too.
is it the reason that the person is good because they're a man, or because they have the knowledge and
So
wisdom?
I was
Christ
about to
could
get
have
into
came
it.
as a woman.
I'll answer your question. I'll answer your question. So what women have to do is have dads in their lives. Not only have dads in their lives so they can, because a lot of women, when they're in the home and they have their dad, they know that they can look for their dad and other men that they date. I don't mean that in some perversion rate or whatever. They know what a good man is by having a good man at the home who is present. They don't know, they don't have anything to map onto this, and they don't have a reference point if a man is not home. If their reference to a man is just a woman at the home and an independent, strong black woman, I don't think they have a reference point. That's what, to your point, you even conceded this. You said that single women are producing more feminine men. That's bad for society. This is all good.
Okay,
So
I had
black
a
women are
dad
too
in the
masculine.
home. I had a father in the home, and my father showed me that traditional gender roles are bullshit. He showed me, he said, you know what, I'm a man. I could cook for myself. I could clean for myself. I don't need a woman. And he told me that I choose to be with
You realize
another.
that's a man saying that, not a woman.
To be.
You realize that's not a woman saying that. That's a man saying that, right?
Right. So the gender roles are bullshit. They're bullshit.
So
if a woman has common sense and the sense of mind,
I'll ask you a question.
And the integrity and a discipline, all those things that you said about Jesus Christ, a woman could take that too. She could be emboldened to that too.
Do you think that we have roles? Do you think we have duties in relationships? Do you think men and women have duties?
The duty is to be a good person to the other so that the other could lean on in times of need, and whether that be a man or a woman.
What does that mean? Be a good person.
That means one hand washes the other. It takes two. One hand washes the other. Both hands wash.
That doesn't tell me what that is. What is that?
Equal partners. I mean, if you got to, to be explained.
What's the specific duty? Because I can tell you what the duties are, but I want to hear what's your version of what the duties are.
The duty is we both do what we got to do to take care of each other, and there's no gender role on it. We know what has to be done, and we do it.
You can't say what these duties are exactly.
What are they? Well, what are they? Answer it for us.
Okay. The duty of men is to till the earth, is to work. Also, not only this, but to produce and maybe labor, right? We can have that and also be the protector as well of the home. The duty of the woman is to produce children, be a good matron, and be a good mother in society. And also, if she doesn't have a relationship, she is to produce for society and become a matron to other people in society as well, too, and exhibit this feminine role. I think it's good for women to follow a feminine role.
That's in your worldview. Guess what?
It is in my worldview,
she
yes.
Got a farm. She got chickens. She tills the earth. I could plant. A woman could do that. There's no gender on tilling the earth. That's what the Bible said. The Bible says a lot of messed up stuff. Look at Numbers 31:18. It says, take every little girl that has not slept with a man for yourselves. Like, come on. God, you have to understand, men wrote the Bible, men wrote the Torah, men wrote the Quran, men wrote all of these things.
You're lumping all these together now.
A thing that is unknowable. Nobody knows the true nature of God. Nobody knows. You won't see until you die. You got to take all of these teachings with a grain of salt, because the same way that we went from a non-hierarchical society,
ridiculous.
Hierarchical society involved religion. That's how they said. They said, I have the connection to God, and God told me that you should bring me a 14-year-old wife, and you should give me extra food, and I don't have to work because I have this connection to God. It's all game. That's what it is. Religion is game. It's control of the earth. It has a lot of great things in there, and I won't deny that. But you have to take these teachings with a grain of salt. Every type of leader, guru, religious person, a person that wants to be followed, it doesn't mean that they're perfect. They said, what's it say? Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts.
So I see what the problem is.
People complete control over your life. You have to take everything with a grain of salt. Period.
I see what the problem is. This is why we have 500 different denominations, because people have to take what they want and then leave all the discipline to the side sometimes. And I get that, but I see what the problem is.
There's thousands of religions.
I let you talk.
Isn't the only right one. You think that
I was just getting to my point.
In the world,
just let Martae finish what he said there.
Christ have mercy. So here's the problem with this. Black women will do this thing that you're doing right now. They'll say, well, I like him when he's leading, but not like that. I don't want him to lead like this, which makes you
I
the
don't wanna be
leader.
led.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You don't want to be led, which means no man can lead you, which means you have to be the masculine person in the
Christ
house at all
leads me.
times. You have to be the
Christ leads
masculine
me.
person. This is the problem with black women. This is what they do. They want to lead men all the time because they can't be led by a man. This is the problem. Black women are too masculine. You're demonstrating that right now.
A person who's a leader is going to have people follow them naturally, and they're not going to have to force those people. The people are going to be naturally drawn to them. Jesus Christ didn't force doctrine anybody. They followed him because
That's going to
they
happen.
understood
I'll agree
what
with
he
you.
was
That's going to
saying.
happen.
They liked how he was speaking. So a true leader happens naturally. You don't need to force anybody or trick anybody or manipulate anybody into believing you. They're going to do it naturally because truth is a frequency that resonates.
Is there truth in force?
No.
There's no truth in force.
Because if it was true, it wouldn't have to be forced. It would happen naturally. You don't force the seed to grow. The conditions happen so that it does.
Wait, so hold on. If you have a seed that has to beat thousands of swimmers to the egg, is that force? Is there force involved in it?
I'm talking about the seed that you plant in the ground. And right now they're showing in scientific studies about the ovum and the sperm that the ovum chooses, the egg chooses who she wants. That's why people could be together for years and never produce a child. And later that woman gets with somebody else or that man gets with somebody else and has a child because some things are not meant.
So
there are frequencies.
Hold on. If I'm married,
cannot be seen by the human eye.
If I'm married and I train and I'm a professional athlete in 2 different world-class sports and I have a wife, let's say I'm married, right? And then a man comes to my door and he wants to threaten my wife and kids if I have a family and I beat his ass, is there any truth in that force?
There's justice because you're defending what is yours. But if somebody comes to my door and I blow their shit back, like, come on.
This is pure obfuscation here. Like I'm asking you if there's any truth to force doctrine. Like if we can use force to protect other people, there's no truth in justice. Like if police officers patrol,
you shouldn't have to force people to follow you. If you have to force people to follow
you, do okay. What do inmates?
You're a manipulator.
Okay, so do inmates have to follow? Do inmates have to follow correction officers' advice? Do they have to be forced sometimes?
Obviously, they're in the situation because they've made bad choices.
Right. Is there any truth in this? Is there any truth in the matter that they have to follow the correction officer's advice in orders?
Do you have to follow the law? Like, come on now. What kind of
yes, there's truth in force. If I run over the light, I'll get pulled over.
If you're a good person, the law won't matter because you're not going to break it because you don't have that in you to do another person bad or to do another person dirty.
What?
Yeah. Hello, why would you break the law?
This is crazy. This is like circular, but then you're like going all over the place too. I don't know what to do with this argument at this point, but here's my premise. Black women are too masculine. I've demonstrated this overwhelmingly. I don't want to do like my whole closing statement now, but the reason why black women are too masculine, you're exhibit A. During this whole debate, you've proven my whole point that black women are too masculine. When I asked you to give me a good reference point that is good for black women to follow, you can't even do that. You say, well, just follow what's good for your heart.
Other races of
I don't know what to do with
masculine as well. That's why they have goddesses like Kali and like Freya and like some other ones, if I could Google it. Like, black women aren't the only women who have embraced so-called masculine traits. What's a masculine trait in itself? It depends on society and
murder culture. Murder culture is very masculine. Violence is very masculine.
And other cultures that promote murder, that promote fight.
Who promotes the most baby deletions in our society now?
We already said that Margaret Sanger set that up.
You're avoiding the question. You don't want to answer the question. Okay. Who's the most predominantly single motherhood people as far as women? What race?
We already addressed that.
You're going to avoid that too.
Benefits.
You're just going to be a question avoiding machine in the home.
Before the EBT epidemic, black people were the ones that were married the most. Go look it up.
Do you think black families were happier then or happier now?
There has been a planned onslaught.
You're not going to answer another question
against the black community. The drug epidemic being one. We got out from slavery.
You see how she's not
Yeah, but
asking questions?
He's asking you, like, do you think they were happier at that time with when they were predominantly more marriages in the black community?
No, because I think the men had free reign, and the women were in the church praying for their relationship and praying that their man would come home and stop cheating on them. And these men had 2 and 3 families that they had, and I think they were.
It's a fallacy more often than not. There are more men right now not in nuclear families, in apart and single motherhood more than ever, more miserable women now more than ever. Matter of fact, there's a study saying that by 2030, half of the populace is going to be single, and there's going to be a single woman lonely epidemic that's going to happen. Matter of fact, we're going the opposite way. No, you're factually wrong about all this. This is insane that I have to debate your whole premises. You actually made my whole argument from front to back in this whole debate. This is crazy. W for me. I'm just going to say that right now. This is crazy. Yeah, wrap it up, Easy. We done.
All right. Well, oh, wait. Is she frozen there? Oh, I think she froze there. Okay, we'll wait for her to come back so that we can get into... Oh, there she is.
Well, this is crazy, bro. I don't even know what to do.
All right. So listen, that right there is going to wrap up the open hour of back and forth. All right. First off, excellent exchanges from both sides tonight. Okay, we're going to enter the final phase of the debate, the closing statements. All right, quick reminder to the live chat. Okay, the Q&A is there up in the chat. So if you got questions for either debater, make sure you drop them in now. But remember, the super chats, the PayPals, the Cash App questions, these are going to get priority. So if they take up the whole 30 minutes, we may not get to the free chat questions. So if there's something you really want guaranteed to be asked, send it through one of those priority options. With that being said, what did she say? She'll be back in 1 second?
Yeah, she says she'll be back in 1 second.
Okay. So we'll wait for her to come back to get into closing statements.
I mean, if we continue this debate, I didn't even know what to do with this whole point, that the points that she was making. I was like, I don't know where I can go from that, like 8 different times during the debate. So this was crazy, bro. The whole we shouldn't follow men, but then Christ said, where in the Bible does it say Christ said to follow man, but Christ himself is a man and said to follow him, which crazy work.
I think the chat has been very entertained as well. So, I mean,
yeah, I couldn't even imagine what your chat's saying right now. This is just bananas, bro.
Yeah,
hit the like button because I'm giving you guys some good blood, some good entertainment, man. I brought you guys another epic night on Swords of Reason, man. Give this guy some likes, man. Give this guy a couple of super chats. I guarantee your testosterone will go up 10%. I can't scientifically prove it, but I swear to God, it's I swear it's a proven scientific fact somewhere. Your testosterone will go up, and you'll be a little bit more masculine if you donate super chats. So
true. That is true. All right, she's back. All right. So with that being said, we are going to get into the closing statements. All right. Each debater is going to have 5 minutes to make their final case here. So because you opened first, Martae, we're going to start with you for closings, and that'll give Love beautifully the last word. So, Martae, whenever you're ready for your closing statement, I will start the timer up with your voice.
So Christ told us that we should follow him, and no man can go through God the Father but through him, which he himself is a man, yet she purports to say, where does Christ tell us to follow man? Right? Christ himself was a man. Now, I did bring up a couple of points, and I asked questions which she obfuscated. She didn't answer this. She said, well, what's masculine? Give me traits about masculinity. Well, when I talked about warrior culture and violence culture and death culture, it's more associated. When I looked on Google, I actually put up a source in the beginning of my opening statement for my video. It's mostly attributed to as a masculine trait, violence, right? And when we talked about death, she basically defended this the whole time and said, well, there's a female warrior out there somewhere, and just like she just deferred to that. And I'm just like, well, that doesn't debunk what I was saying right now. How is that not masculine? She's justified. And then when I talked about the high rates of women deleting babies, she said, well, it's white women that did this. That's why now she doesn't exist now, but we're going to perpetuate this and just kill off a ton of babies still. We're leading these rates. And then single mom, when I brought up this and said, well, black women are leading in single mom rates. This is very masculine because you're strong, independent, and you're also having to be the defender of the home. Like, how is that not masculine? Because you have to defer to violence if you don't have a man to protect you, which is just at your base, you're having to defer to masculinity regardless. And then when I said that, you know, the preposterous claim is saying we should have nuclear families, she said, no, we should do away with nuclear families. And then when I asked her, I said,
I didn't say that.
Hold on. It's still my time real quick.
Closing's uninterrupted.
She said, well, you said that nuclear families are bad, right? So she said,
I didn't say that. I said to each.
Hold up. It's his closing statement, so it's uninterrupted. You gotta let him get it off, and then address anything you want.
Easy, I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me. Okay,
Let me come back in and come out.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Drop and come back. Okay. Here,
all right,
I will
I'll
give you another minute back. Don't worry.
So this was another good example too. During the debate, when I was saying something, she asked me a question and then interrupted me during questions when I was answering, but she wanted an answer. And then during the debate, she not only was she asking questions, when I asked questions, she didn't answer those questions. She asked me questions, which means she's avoidant, which is what black women do overwhelmingly all the time. This is not only a stereotype, but there's a lot of truth in stereotypes. Avoiding accountability because accountability is your kryptonite, which means she's avoiding leadership. She says, well, why should I, go under? I will never follow a man. She literally said this herself and espouses, I'm not following no man. I'm not following all this other stuff. And I'm just like, okay, well, by your own merit, you're going to have to divert to masculinity because you're going to have to be the mother and the father, which means that you're going to be more masculine than any other woman out there because you have to do both roles. Too masculine is the debate prompt. I think that black women are too masculine. She can say that. I'm deferring to a couple of examples out here by saying rap women, women in rap and hip hop and all this. But overwhelmingly in culture, if you look at dating apps, black women are the least swiped on people. I wonder why that is. It's because we don't want to date other men if we're heterosexual men out here on the dating market and date women that don't want to follow us because they can't defer to some feminine trait and go back to being stay-at-home moms, being good matrons in society, all this. The black community and culture, women have lost this. This has been a far gone thing that's lost. It's a father time itself. It's gone. I wish we could bring this back. But with women with this mindset, which is demonstrating herself that masculinity is just some fluid thing here and women can be masculine and feminine, she's not really contending with the argument. When I asked her questions, she didn't answer any questions tonight. And then when she asked me what masculinity was, I gave her examples of what that is, but it's like she literally proved my whole point through her behavior, through her mannerisms, and by the videos I've shown too as well too. And there was another video, but I didn't want to bring it up because of course I'm not going to go dox people. It'd be too much. But that's the thing though, is that I think, and I want to close it on this. I think that if you're not going to interrupt me again, I just want to say this right now. Women, I think that it is best to have a hierarchical role and defer to Christ. And how are you going to follow Christ? Through a good husband. And when I say this, you say things like, well, not just any man. That's why women also have to vet men. And how do you vet men? By having a good father at home, keeping a husband at home. Because how are women going to know what a good man is if they don't have a father at the home? Black women are kicking fathers out of the home all the time. And you brought up EBT culture and Uncle Sam coming in. Well, women decided Uncle Sam should be the dad instead of the real dad. Because if the real dad comes in, well, guess what? I don't know if I want to follow this man. Black women literally made this choice. They decided that Uncle Sam should raise these kids instead of other men. She literally conceded the debate by saying this. She said, well, and I asked her this. I said, well, do you think that single women are producing masculine men or feminine men? She said, feminine men. Well, is that good for society? No, it's not, because women have to be the man. If there's no man at home, there's nuclear family goodness that we should be bringing back. 2 people in the home, a father and a mother. And she says, nope, because I could defer to uncles, nieces, and things like this. All that is just deferring to survivalism. And when a woman is in survival mode, she has to be in her masculine. This is bad. And I think this basically shows that Black women are too masculine in society by her own words, statements, actions during this whole debate and how she's conducted herself. It's crazy. She's literally proved my whole debate this whole time. Matter of fact, I want to see the poll and how people vote during this debate, because I'm very interested to see the numbers, because she said that. Anyways, I'll just leave it right here because I don't know what to do with the rest of what she was saying.
All right. Thank you for that closing statement. And with that, we are going to hand the mic over to Love Beautifully. Whenever you are ready for your closing statement, go ahead and I'll start the timer up with your voice.
Okay, let's get it. Okay, so basically, I'm ready. He said that, Black women are masculine. And okay, so if a masculine culture is kill culture, then that in itself is negative. That's not needed. We don't need more people being killed on this earth. That's number one. Number two, why are Black people in general demonized throughout the world? Black men, they are, the statement that Black women are masculine is dehumanizing. It leans towards colonizer mentality, colonial mentality, when they had chattel slavery, when they said Black people can't feel pain, and they did all kinds of experiments on Black women with no anesthesia, because they thought too that those Black women were so masculine to the point where they couldn't feel pain, they didn't have feelings, they didn't have emotions. In my opinion, Black women are the most feminine. Black women are the leaders of femininity. That's why other women copy us. That's why they do their hair like us. That's why they want their nails like us. That's why they want to wear our clothes and copy our culture like a costume and tan their skin. I think Black women are very feminine. I know plenty of Black women who are mothers, who are lovers, who are teachers, who are good women. They're wives. They're all those things that you described as feminine. You think femininity is submission, and it's not. Femininity is the expression of one's self where you can be safe to experience that femininity. And if there's too much masculinity, then you have to adapt to the environment and adapt to the situation. If I have to be worried about somebody knocking down my door and death culture and somebody coming to kill me in the middle of the night, then is that a masculine attribute, or is that masculinity gone to the wayside? That's a negative of masculinity. The masculine men that I know are protectors and providers. That's what I know masculinity to be. Not killers, not destroyers. Period. The whole point of it is that Black people have been, both men and women, negatively stereotyped throughout history. And they want to put these negative attributes on us, and they want to stereotype us to make it easier for people to dehumanize us, think of us negatively and not as people, and just as stereotypes instead of as people. So I don't know your colonizer mindset, what is going on in it, but you strayed from the path if you think a Black woman is not a feminine woman. Black people invented waist beads. That's, you talk about the shape and the figure. They invented all the hairstyles you could think of come from Black people. All people were Black before they were white. White is the mutation. Come on now. And that's not to say that one is better than the other or worse than the other. I think that people should lead themselves. They should lead themselves and be equally yoked. That's what it says. You should be equally yoked in your marriage. A yoke puts 2 horses right next to each other, side by side. They walk side by side and they get to the destination. Who's leading the horse? The horses? Jesus Christ should be the leader. That's really it. If both people are doing what they're supposed to, they will make up for the lack of the other. I don't think anybody should rule over anybody. No, I don't believe in kings. I don't think there should be a king to rule over the people. I think that's bullshit. I think that's something that somebody made up a long time ago because they tricked people and they knew that they could get more if they could trick people. And how did they do it? Through manipulation and through force. It's not natural. What's natural don't gotta be forced. It just happens naturally. It blooms naturally. And that's really it. I don't need no extra time.
All right. Thank you for that closing statement. And that right there will conclude the closing statements from both sides. Okay. Again, great work from both debaters tonight. Everyone watching, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the debates we host here on Swords of Reason. Again, we run all kinds of matchups: political, cultural, social issues, philosophy, internet beefs, trending topics, literally anything there's a conversation worth clashing over, we will bring it to the arena, okay? Also, don't forget to subscribe to tonight's debaters as well. Their links are in the description. Go show them support for stepping into the arena and sharpening their arguments tonight in front of you guys, all right? Before I start the timer for the chat Q&A, I always like to ask a question or two for each debater based on either things I heard, an argument I want clarified, a point I think maybe deserved another pass, things of this nature. And then after that, we will get into the official 30-minute Q&A. So I'm going to start with the affirmative. So Martae, if you define these traits, like the ones you like displayed in your opening and stuff like that, as masculine, are you saying women who display them are less feminine, or less feminine? And if so, what standard are we using to judge that?
So we can even use like a standard of Christ, like or even a historical standard. Let's even go away from like theology, and I'm going to use a more pragmatic example here. So, if you have a warring tribe come into your village, you're then going to either, find out quickly what your place is in society. Like if an EMP hit and all the electricity went out and we all had to step up and fulfill these roles. She says that these roles don't exist. But we quickly find out what these roles are when the infrastructure needs to be put back up. Women aren't going to be up putting up power lines or doing any of this other stuff, or the infrastructure, sewage, nuclear, any of this stuff. When we talk about this, we're going to have to defer to somebody who has a monopoly on force. To me, that's one good example of how that happens, especially when it comes to survival. We survived eons by deferring to these things, like men having to build through power, strength, good leadership, guidance. Because when that leadership gets challenged, we then have to defend this. Women can't defend their leadership. That's why we need men to do this. And when she talks about guns, who builds the guns and maintains the guns? Men. So it's always circular and going back to the men no matter what. We're going to circle back around. That's what I mean. Not circular, but we're going to circle back to the men no matter what. So either or, and women have to defer to their feminine, which means producing children. We are in a birth rate crisis that's going down right now because women aren't fulfilling their duties and replacing the population. Hopefully it answers the question a little bit.
Yeah. If I'm hearing you right, you're saying like, if we were to stay away from theology, the standard would be based in history and biology.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have anything you wanted to say to his answer there, Love Beautifully?
So do you think it is the duty of women to reproduce? Do you think it's the duty of men to reproduce and fill the earth?
Who are the only people that can have babies and hold babies?
It takes two to make a baby. So do you think
I'm asking you,
answer my question. Don't answer my question with another question. Answer it. Do you think that the only job of men and women is to reproduce?
One of the jobs of women is to be a good mother, right? To be a matron, to have babies.
If they choose to be a mother, not every woman chooses to be a mother, just like not every man chooses to be a father. Men can't have babies.
Women have babies, right? We can come together and make
a man babies. To make a baby.
Right.
No, I think she's asking, is it a duty of both to have children?
It's a duty of both to create life. But when it comes to having babies, women right now have the main monopoly on like that decision making by men allowing this to happen. So when it comes to this and her talking about autonomy and doing all this, she's literally deferring to women having this duty and responsibility. But now when it comes to her being held to this duty, she wants to say, no, it's on both. But when I talk about autonomy and women making their own choices, no, it's only on one. You see how it's just...
Is it a duty or a choice? I think it's a choice. I don't think it's a duty of anybody to create life. I think it's a choice. I think it has to be thought out and planned. It's a planet. Okay, it's not without a plan.
We're in a birth rate crisis right now. If we don't have babies, what do you think happens to the population? Should we just die off? If people choose
not to? Is a lie. 10 years ago, they said there was too much. Now it's too little. That's the shit they make up. These people
it's not made up. It's not made up. We are in a birth rate decline.
10 years ago, they were saying there was too many people on the earth and there weren't enough resources.
No, we can look this up.
There's really not going to be enough resources. Once these data centers come and they take all the water and they pollute the air, it's really going to be hell on earth.
Yeah, it's like you're not even answering questions. It's crazy. But we can move on. It's crazy.
All right. Well, I have one more question for you, Martae, is... like if societal like influences explain these behaviors, so like how do we distinguish between the traits that are like inherently masculine versus traits that are more like visible or more rewarded in a certain environment?
Inherent means like born with. Right. So if you're talking about inherent, men are inherently stronger. We're inherently the defenders of the nation. We're defenders of nations everywhere. You can't point to one nation where the women were the main defenders. And if we're talking about the Dahomey tribe, they had to defend the women because if we're talking about Smith and Wesson, not Winchester, I mean, when the rifles were given to that tribe, that was by men. Men built those guns and gave it to the Dahomey tribe. That was new technology at the time. Through men, they had to defer to men regardless. Men created that. Men have to maintain that. That's the only reason why the Dahomey tribe was actually a challenge to deal with. And even then, they got their asses handed to them. That's also in my book too. But it's like when we think about this, inherently, women are the more vulnerable sex. Men aren't physically.
All right. And did you want to answer anything to that, Love Beautifully?
Are women the more vulnerable sex physically? I think women are the stronger sex. That's why more female births survive over male births.
What? Well, hold on. Let me ask you a question, though.
More female births survive over male. More female pregnancies survive compared to the male because the women are stronger in the womb.
They did a test. They did a test and they surveyed both men and women passing kidney stones. Many more women actually said that passing a kidney stone was more painful than having birth. Which sexes pass kidney stones? Both?
Why do people get kidney stones? It's from poor diet.
No. Can you answer the question?
Which sex is not
do both sexes pass kidney stones? Oh, she's not even here.
To pass a kidney stone, you have to be eating a terrible diet.
I don't care about your diet. I asked you a question.
So these people, they're not healthy. These are the people we're going to look to for the answer. Come on now.
So when women were surveyed, they said that most women said that passing a kidney stone was in relation to pain tolerance was more painful than having birth. Men and women both pass kidney stones. So if you're talking about this, the pain threshold, that debunks your whole argument about the whole babies scenario you're talking about.
No, more female births live over male births. So who's stronger? The women. The women survive at a higher rate. Hello?
What?
Hello?
I'm not talking about survivability. I'm talking about pain threshold here. That's a pain threshold question I just asked you.
So wait, you just moved the goalpost. You went from who is stronger sex to who can tolerate more pain.
Yeah.
Women give birth.
Because you talked about pain because that's a false equivalent.
Women give birth.
That's a false. Hold on.
That you could experience.
Men, that's a false equivalent because men can't have babies. Because men can't have babies. You don't know that.
Because God knows who the stronger sex is. period.
So that's a false equivalent because men can't have babies. So the better equivalent is passing kidney stones
God
because that's
knew
something
who
that.
was strong enough to carry the burden, and it's not men.
So wait, hold on. Physically, women are stronger than men.
Mentally, emotionally,
physically.
I can't
I'm
say
asking you
every
physically.
woman, but on a general, you have to be
physically.
mentally
No,
strong.
let's talk about one
and
thing at a time.
Emotionally strong
Physically,
to sacrifice your body for 9 months.
So
to have
physically,
a baby.
are
Not
women
every
stronger
woman
than
does
men?
the right thing.
Oh,
Some do
jeez,
the
I
wrong
can't even.
thing.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think she's saying they have more pain tolerance, not they're physically stronger.
No, they don't.
We
No,
have
that's
more
debunked.
capacity to endure.
No,
period.
that's debunked
Because if it wasn't, men
through
would
the
be
kidney
the carriers
stone.
of the
Through the
children.
study of kidney stone, that was all debunked. There's
And if men
there's no sex that deals with pain more than the other because women rate passing kidney stones on a higher pain threshold than passing babies, than delivering babies. So in both sexes pass kidney stones.
Every pregnancy and every birth is different. I had my baby in 5 seconds. I pushed it out very
Yeah,
easily.
I'll
I
even
was up
concede that.
walking
I
around the
agree.
hospital room
Every birth is different.
within minutes of having a baby.
I
Some women
agree.
need a wheelchair. They
I
need to be
agree.
wheeled. Every woman is different.
I agree. Every woman is different. But on
Not
a
everyone is
general,
built like that.
every woman is different. But over a general, by and large, women rate passing a kidney stone more painful than having birth. By and large,
because I've never passed a kidney stone because I don't
right.
put garbage
You can
into
look
my
this
body
up.
to the point where it forms a fucking stone.
There's a study. You can look this up. It debunks your whole argument. But anyways, we can go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's get to the next question here. So now I have 2 questions for you, Love Beautifully. So the first one is so like if the traits that Martae is saying that black women have are not masculine, what would be the like objective standard you're using when you define masculinity?
Masculinity is action. Men move on actions, not words. They do what they're gonna do. That's what a man is. What he says he's gonna do, he does. He's a protector of the women that are around him. He protects. He doesn't destroy. That's what a real man does. Little boys destroy things. Men create with their hands and they protect what they created. They protect their families. They protect their women. That's what a man does. The traits that he described as masculine are negative. He's talking about killing and force culture. That ain't no real man. A real man is gonna get followed just off of who he is, how he speaks. They know that his word is bond and they could trust him. Somebody that got to force you or manipulate you into something, that ain't no real man.
All right. Martae, do you have anything you wanted to say to that?
Yeah, police officers, we have a whole force, and we also have not only this, but a whole justice system of correctional officers and everybody else that uses force, but somehow that's bad. But if we took all this force away, we would have all the killers and rapists and everybody else run amok in society. Somebody has to keep them in check. But when
Who
you say
are the killers and the rapists?
can I answer a question?
Doing that.
Can I answer a question?
Negative, toxic masculinity that rape and kill.
All right, speaking, I can't even answer a question. We can move on. That's crazy.
No, go ahead. You let him just finish there. Go ahead.
Oh, if you take away this, so you can't always create without having to destroy. If you're talking about building a bridge, you have to get the resources from somewhere. So you have to destroy compost, dirt somewhere else to move it somewhere else to build a bridge. When we talk about destroying even a plant, I'll even give you this. So if a sapling is going to turn into a big ass tree, this sapling has to kill all the other saplings around it, rob resources and everything else, and be a killer basically to become this big growth, this big tree. That tree basically had to do a lot of violence to become this big, beautiful tree to produce fruit and replenish the populace of more trees.
You
and
said it
like
has
this.
to destroy what now? Say it again.
So if you plant a seed, in the ground, that seed has to take all the nutrients and rob the nutrients from saplings around it, and it's competing to try to be this big oak tree. There was a lot of violence in order for this tree to become a tree. There's a lot of violence to be able to produce and create. They can be hand in hand. There's a lot of overlap that happens in society.
You've been speaking for a long time. Can I say something against that?
Yeah, go ahead.
trees run on a communal system. There's mycelium and different things. The roots are connected. In fact, it's shown that when one tree isn't getting water, that other trees around it send it water through the root system. All the trees are connected.
No,
they're connected underground, and they help each
no.
other.
No, that's false.
They do.
In
That's
nature,
true.
no. If you're talking about this, no, you're talking about other cultures. If we go to even natural habitats of
I'm
even
talking
animals,
about
no.
the study of ecology.
Do you know what
the
an
earth, the
invasive
earth.
species is with plants? Do you know what do you think there are plants that are called invasive
Yes, they
species?
exist, and they run on the principles of toxic masculinity. They
So
go and they
plants
kill
are
and they
toxic.
steal and they
Wait,
destroy. But
plants have
some
toxic
trees
masculinity?
that are not invasive, they work together and they help
Wait,
each other. You're
so-
talking about invasive. Invasive is not the natural. It's not the norm. What you're talking about is
So
not
these things
the
aren't
normal.
natural. These plants aren't natural.
They're invasive. The
Oh.
term itself describes what they are. They're not native.
Oh, hold on.
They're not supposed to be there.
Let me ask you a question. So
They're
plants have
going to take the
hold on.
resources of the other. Only
Oh,
bad
hold on, hold
people
on.
do that.
So-
Good
so-
people water the grass they have. They
Oh,
don't go to other
yeah, I
people's
get it. I
countries
get
and
it.
steal
So-
their oil and
Cool,
steal
I
their
get it.
land.
Cool. I'll even concede all that. So plants have toxic masculinity. Some plants have toxic masculinity.
The traits that you are describing are toxic.
No, the
Plants
plants. No, I'm
can't
talking
be
about the plants.
masculine or feminine. Or maybe they can, but the traits that you are describing
No,
are
plants.
toxic.
I'm asking you about plants. Can plants have toxic masculinity?
They can have traits that are toxic. If they're an invasive species and they're hurting the native species, that's toxic. That's not helpful to us nor them.
Okay. So we'll even go with that. For a big oak trees actually don't have this communal environment. You can even look that up. When an oak tree has to be born, I even brought the specific tree up. It has to rob nutrients away from the soil and everything else, which is very destructive in order for it to build. You've already conceded this. There's sometimes destruction for us to build beautiful life. If you're going to build a baby in your womb, you're going to create stretch marks in the process of doing this, gain some weight,
That's not
things like
true.
this. But you can also bounce
That's
back.
not true. I don't have a stretch mark from children at all.
I
None.
said can. I said can. This can happen.
But it's not the rule.
I'm not
not
making
always.
rules here. I'm not saying. All right. Anyway, speakeasy. Let's go. This is crazy. I want to. Hey, hold on. Let me ask you a question. Are you going to be here for the open panel afterwards?
Let's do it.
Oh my God, this is gonna be crazy. All right.
Hey, well, let's get into this Q&A from the chat. Reminder for you, chat. We're gonna start the timer up right now. So if the super chats take it all, we may not get to the free chat questions. If you want to bump yourself up, go ahead and send in a super chat. Okay. So let's start this timer up. The first one comes in from Wrath of Reason. Just says, "Is Martae's opponent even a woman? Looks pretty masculine to me." I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Wrath of Reason. Do you want to tell Wrath of Reason he's an asshole? Tell Wrath of Reason he's an asshole. It's okay.
Pay more to say something else, goofy. Pay to say.
Well, thank you. Bully Mom says, question for both for $5. Do you think having an attitude might be construed as masculinity sometimes?
I'll let you answer first. Go ahead.
Do I think having an attitude? I mean, it depends on the attitude.
Not
if
what
you're
she
a
asked.
person with a chip on your shoulder and you have an attitude for no reason, it's shitty. But if you have it to stand up for yourself, I don't think it's masculine or feminine. I think it's necessary to fight for yourself and to stand up for yourself. I don't think like most people think. I think like how I think. Is it masculine? I don't know. No. It could be more feminine. The women are seen to like bitch and go on and on. I think having an attitude is a feminine trait. Because a real man, he gonna deal with it. He either gonna fight you or he gonna walk away, but he's not gonna go back and forth and bitch and bitch and bitch.
It's funny, while we have people that actually do debate, men that go back and forth and use logic, they do go back and forth. There can be attitude, but that can also, so to answer your question, I'll say yes. To be more concise, yes, it can be misconstrued. It depends on what lens you're looking through. But what I'm deferring to is outcomes. I'm looking at traits of outcomes. So when we're looking at attitude, it's like, but under what pretext or context are we talking about? Like interrupting people, not conducting yourself with candor or even a professional demeanor when you're doing things like that. That can be like that can be like not a leadership, something that denotes leadership that is a masculine attribute for sure.
You know, these panels, we go back and forth and we talk and stuff, but in real life, is a man really gonna go back and forth?
Yeah.
No. A bitch is gonna go back and forth. A manly man ain't gonna go back and forth with you.
Let me ask you a question.
He's either gonna walk away or throw hands.
Let me ask you a question. If you're gonna sell a car, if a guy's selling a car to another man and they go back and forth to try to bargain to try to see who's gonna get a lower price, they're both bitches.
That's in a situation where you have to bargain, but I'm talking about in a
no, they're going back and forth. They're going back and forth.
I'm talking about in a difference of opinion. It's expected.
No, there's a difference of opinion.
Something.
They're having a difference of opinion over price.
Are they going to sit there and argue?
Yes, they're trying to finagle the other person for a lower price.
No, manly men do not argue and go back and forth like that. In a situation where you buy
salesmen aren't manly when they're trying to provide for their family and trying to get a customer to a higher price and upsell.
A sales job is not manly. A manly job is working in the field. A sales job is
hold on.
That's
trading and bartering. Trading and bartering was one of the earliest jobs that men did. It was very manly to go ahead and sell, barter, trades and goods and services. When you did this, you wanted to say, hey, no, I'll give you 2 sheep for that cattle right there. And they bartered and traded and argued over this thing. That's not manly.
It's more masculine to take care of the earth and to have your own, to where you don't have to depend on anybody. There's people out there that don't have to trade and barter shit. They're self-sufficient. They got sheep, they got cows, they got chicken, they got land, they got generator, they got a well, and they don't need another motherfucker for shit. They built their own house with their own hands. I think that's the most masculine thing somebody could do. I think it's very feminine to go to work every day.
Man, this is stifling.
To freaking Best Buy or wherever. But do what you got to do. I don't judge anybody. But yeah, that's not. You
just judge these people. You literally just judge them by saying if they're gonna trade and barter.
That shit is feminine. So what?
What? Logic is feminine. All right, let's go ahead.
All right. So next one comes in from Jonaria Smith for $5. Says, I just watched Vic's coverage of Trippy on Speakeasy. Gotta say, Trippy convinced me to support Speakeasy more. True.
Yeah, true. Based.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Appreciate that big time. Rule Over 2 said just gifted a membership. Shout out to you. I appreciate that big time. And then also gave a member for 6-month badge and says, this bitch don't know about Pangea.
I do know about Pangea. That's why I said everybody started off as black. Hello. Pay for something else.
We was kings and queens. Meanwhile, she says that we shouldn't have kings. We shouldn't have kings. That's literally what you said.
I don't agree. Yes.
Right. So Christ.
Listen, I said it was messed up to have hierarchical society. It doesn't matter who does it.
So Christ, if I say Christ is king, that's a very messed up statement to say.
That's a religious thing. I'm talking about in a day-to-day life. Nobody should rule over you.
Did Christ live a day-to-day life when he was here?
He's not here right now over us like President Trump or freaking Khomeini. That's an ideology that you keep in your heart. That's
do we have spiritual fathers? Do we have spiritual fathers over us? Leaders. Right. Anyways.
Christianity is not the only religion.
That's not what I said. Anyways, let's go.
They
She's like obfuscating like crazy.
That are the leaders of that they follow.
All right. Excuse me. World Radio comes in for $10. Says, is she referring to the God of Abraham, but then use different deities to make her argument? So not religious, not Christian, just spiritual. She picks and chooses.
Yeah.
Feels like a not so erudite supporter.
Pretty much, yeah. Moral relativism plus with a bunch of masculinity.
What's a erudite?
It's
not so erudite's another YouTuber.
It's another YouTuber.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I don't know who that is, but I mean, religion is something that's specific to the person. You can believe what you want to believe. I believe what I want to believe. Nowhere in the Bible does Christ say to be an incel and to hate on women.
Wait, hold on. What's an incel? What's your description of an incel? Definitionally.
Incel is a man that's not in touch with his feminine side, and he doesn't understand the way that women operate. So
wait,
therefore,
hold
he has
on.
a lot of trouble with women. And let me finish. He has a lot of trouble with women. So the only interactions that he has with women are ones that he pays for on OnlyFans.
Hold on.
Because he can't get a woman in real life because he doesn't understand that women are people too. It's somebody who tries to have a hierarchical definition of what women are. They try to place men above women, and they're not above nobody. They're the ones that say men built everything and men rule, and they don't rule shit. They clock into their job just like everybody else.
Speakeasy. She just said that an incel is a man who isn't in touch with his feminine side. That would literally be the opposite.
Because
and then, hold on. I let you speak. And then she said, it's a man who says that men build everything and men should lead. That's an
no. I said crazy. That men rule everything and they rule nothing. You rule.
Well,
nothing.
there was a lot added on to the definition, but I think we got to the main point of a man that can't get a woman, right? Involuntarily celibate.
You don't know what an incel is. So an incel is an involuntarily celibate person.
I just said that.
You said a man who isn't in touch with his feminine side.
I just said involuntary. That's the reason he can't get no coochie, because he doesn't understand how women operate. He sees
barring the
as
reason
an object instead of a complete being.
Correct. Well, hold on.
Why he got 99 problems, and they're all bitches because he don't understand how women move. Period.
So if Christianity,
and I'm telling you, if you're watching
Lord
this
Jesus
show,
Christ,
you're more than likely are an incel. I'm so sorry. More than likely you have trouble with women, or else you wouldn't be watching this, because it wouldn't be a deal. It wouldn't be.
Wait, hold on. So if I watch Speakeasy's podcast, more than likely I'm a incel.
I mean, I think Speakeasy is a nice guy and all of that.
Oh yeah, clean it up.
You know,
let's clean it up real quick. Yeah, clean that shit up.
People who are lost. I mean,
go ahead, clean it up real quick. Damn,
get your money, Speak.
You just put your foot in your mouth real quick. That's crazy. It's all right. Let's go, Speakeasy. That's crazy.
All right. Next question here comes in from Flavius for $20. Says, I bet she believes Charles Frederick Page invented planes. Just two balloons tied to a boat. Nothing close to what modern planes are based off of.
Right.
The Wright brothers invented planes at Kitty Hawk, South Carolina. Please go read a book. You people on this internet so much, watching TV and watching people speak, go pick up a book and go read it. Please.
All right.
This is why this is a wild debate. I'm just...
$2 comes in from Sempiternal Chaos, just showing some support. Thank you, Sempiternal. Chop Chop became a new member. Shout out to you, Chop Chop. Thank you for that. World Radio comes in for $5. Says, if everyone waited until they were ready to have babies, nobody would have children. Somebody gets the gal.
Yep.
That's not true. That's not true. Rich people plan their babies. That's why the higher classes have more abortion, because they plan it when they have the
hold on.
To take care of it.
Hold on. You're not exactly planning if you want to get rid of this all the time. Matter of fact, poor people have the most babies. You could say that poor people have the least or most. That's not an argument for either or. That's
they have
just
the
a
most
redundant thing that
babies
you just
in the
said.
worst situations. They have the babies in the worst situations. They need government entitlements. They need EBT. They need Section 8 housing because they're not able to take care of it. What's the point of bringing somebody into a world that you are not prepared to deal with yourself? You're giving that baby a bad start in life from the beginning.
All I'm hearing is feminist prattle and you going away from abstinence. You're not talking about abstinence. Is the best thing that anybody should talk about. Abstaining and making better decisions and vetting people that they're with. Not deleting babies.
What about condoms? Condoms work. What about
condoms? Or making better decisions with who you sleep with. Not killing babies. That's crazy.
I don't know. I've never had to have an abortion, thank God.
Because
I'm serious about
crazy.
myself. But the whole point is, I don't judge anybody that does. It's not my business what somebody else does with their body. It's their body.
poor people have more babies than anybody else, but the people who are medium or upper class, that could also say poor decision making if they have to kill the most babies too. That's not a relevant point that you made. That's crazy.
I think it depends. Obviously, they have better decision making.
Oh,
They
it
have
depends
more
now.
means. They have better. It depends in what area. They have better decision making if they have more means. If they are able to gather more wealth, that means they know something that those poor people don't.
What? So Epstein, yeah, you know what? I'm not even gonna talk about that. Anyways, let's go.
All right. So $5 comes in from World Radio. Says if masculinity is to be silent, stoic, etc., is this lady just the toxic masculinity?
I don't even. I think he accidentally a word there. I think I didn't say it means to be silent. I just mean that a man's word is his word. He's not going to go back on and forth on it. He believes what he believes, and he's not going to.
I'll be right back.
Women do that. That's basically it. It's you know, it's not to be silent. It's to say what you mean and mean what you say to the point where you only got to say it one time. You're not going to debate your. I mean, in real life, obviously, this is a place that's structured for that, where it's encouraged. Philosophers, they gathered in places to debate, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just the average, everyday man, he ain't gonna go back and forth.
You mean like the bickering type of back and forth?
That is exactly it. That's what I mean.
Gotcha. We got $10 came in from OG2, said Martae with the W and with the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God bless you all. God bless you too, OG.
Amen.
I appreciate that. Mr. Northumberland for $10 says, when was the last time black women en masse were forced to get pregnant? If anyone, man or woman, isn't prepared to have and raise a child, they ought not be having unprotected sex, period.
True. I agree.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, but that avoids the whole thing. Like
agree.
You would never have to kill babies and then be in survival mode and protect yourself against this infant or, this fetus if you just made better decisions. And instead, what you're saying is a solution. Men should just snip their nuts.
They can reverse it. They can be reversed. It's an easy surgery.
These are horrible prescriptions. That's why we don't need women leading.
If they truly care, they would.
This is why we don't need women leading, because women are making emotional, crazy ass decisions like this. Men should just have invasive procedures.
How is it emotional? It's cut and dry.
No,
snip it and put it back on when you want to.
Fine.
Put it back.
Irrational decisions. Irrational decisions. You would never have to delete babies if you made better decisions.
There has been abortion since the dawn of time. Before they had a surgery, they had herbs to do it. It's people's choice. Stay out of their business. It's not your baby. It's not your business. Let people do what they want to do with their bodies and their selves.
Okay, if you led a society, you'd say, "Do it thou wilt." That's what you would say if you led a society.
Tawana Lester, Aleister Crowley, yeah, OTO. Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, you're gonna promote Aleister Crowley?
You just said do what thou wilt. That's where it comes from.
Right, but I'm asking you, because you don't believe that men should be kings.
This is my philosophy. I'm going to give you my philosophy.
Wait, no. You don't believe men should be kings. Is your philosophy do what? Okay, give me your philosophy. I want to hear it.
This is my ideology on life. This is what I believe. I believe that you should have integrity within yourself and principles and values that you stand on, so that no outside force, person, place, or thing can change that. When you stand on those principles, you will not be in a situation where you need to have an abortion. You will not be or should not be in a situation where you need a king to lord over you and to tell you what to do, because you're going to innately do the right thing. And it doesn't have to be forced. It doesn't have to be hurt into you. You're just going to do it. You're going to treat other people with respect. The same respect that you want to receive, you give it. Period.
So moral relativity plus with masculinity.
Do what you do as long as you don't hurt anybody else.
How is that not do what thou wilt?
As long as it's not hurting you. That's it's so simple.
So moral relativity. Moral relativity.
What's that? Explain. Explain.
I don't have all the time in the world. We can continue. This is
Well,
you can
break
Google
it
it.
down easy. If you don't know how to explain it easily, you don't
Okay, moral relativism is like basically me telling you I like ice cream, and then you saying I like chocolate ice cream, and I say, well, whatever you want is fine as long as it doesn't hurt me. It's all relative, anyways, you know, because it's like you don't. But at the end of it, you don't have a definition of what like standards you have to uphold to. Like I would say, like.
Don't
A
hurt other
greater thing that you're
people.
appealing
Don't hurt other people. Don't kill.
That's
Don't
moral
rape.
relativism.
Don't
You're saying it's all
steal.
relative
No,
anyway.
this is the thing. Don't steal. Don't rape.
What's hurt to you?
Don't kill. Don't hurt. Hurt is if I take a knife and I decide to jug you. That's a hurt. If I decide I'm gonna steal your stuff because I think it's better than mine. If I go and I try to hurt your children, that's hurt. If I try to steal your land because there's something wrong with
Where do you derive this?
hurt.
Where do you get this? Where do you get your morals from? What are you appealing to?
What do you mean? What am I appealing to? I'm not appealing to nobody. I live my life how I live it. And if somebody violates that, then I deal with them how I deal with them. If
Moral
runs in
relativism.
here,
Okay,
I'll
this
blow
is
their shit
crazy.
back.
You're not appealing to anybody. Okay.
All right. So next one comes in from Northumberland for $10. Says, and women becoming pregnant from an assault is only relevant in the context of this argument if it's true that more pregnancies occur because of non-consensual sex than consensual sex. I think this was earlier when you guys were talking about abortion.
I don't think it matters if it's consensual or non-consensual. I think it matters who grows the baby. Once the baby gets to a certain point when it could live outside of the mother, then yes, you're committing a murder. But before that point, if it cannot survive outside of the womb, then it's that mother's choice whether she wants to bring that child into the world or not. My mother used to always tell me, I believe in abortions. I wanted you to be here. If I didn't want you to be here, you wouldn't be here. So I feel a very strong sense of purpose in my life. I know some of you, your mothers didn't want you. So you feel very strongly about the topic of abortion because you know if it was more widely accepted, you wouldn't be here. If your mother got pressured by society to have you, but she really didn't want you, and your father probably didn't want you either. But the whole point is that a woman's bodily autonomy goes over your feelings.
So you just said something. You said it's not killing a baby if it doesn't survive outside of the womb.
Yeah.
So
yeah, then it's not a murder.
So I'll ask you a question. Is that a human life?
Not until it could survive on its own, no.
Okay, so is the baby a human?
It's a fetus.
No, is it a human? Okay.
It depends on the mother. If I feel it's a human inside of me, then it's a human inside of me. If I don't want it, then it's not. It's nothing.
So,
it's not going to be here.
So if
I decide whether it lives or dies.
So what makes it a human?
If it's going to live, then it's a human. If I don't want it, then it's a fetus. It depends on the woman.
So, okay, so it's not a human life if we want to kill it, but it is a human life if we don't want to kill it.
It's for the woman to decide. If I have a ring and I say this is the most valuable ring, or if I say it's a piece of shit, it's up to me to decide because I own the ring. It's mine. Do you think definitions have to have do you think things have to have definitions or meanings? Meanings and definitions are changing with time. If you look at the etymology of words, the way they started is not often the way that they finish. I can agree with that, but can you agree that, okay, so if they found a cell on Mars, would they say that they found life on Mars if there was one single cell? Okay, then by that definition, every time that you step on a blade of grass and kill it, you're committing a murder. Like, no, it's what you decide. If I burn all the grass, no, that's not what I was saying. Around my house, that's my choice. So no, what I'm leaning back to. If you want to keep yours alive, then you keep yours alive. So my train of logic, I'm asking you because you said that. So I own it. If I decide it matters, then it matters. If I decide it doesn't, then it doesn't, because I am the facilitator for the life in question. Okay, so you can't tell me whether or not a fetus is a human life or not. Got it. Okay. It depends on whether the woman wants it or not. If she wants it, then yes. So you can't tell me. If it doesn't, then it's dead. It doesn't exist.
Well, I think she's just saying it's arbitrarily chosen by the woman.
Yeah. So, but scientists can't make arbitrary claims about this, but she can, which is crazy. You have to have a solid, consistent metric or something to use, but she doesn't have that. But yeah, it's all arbitrary on her point. Yeah.
It is just the
Okay.
same way. If a
Yeah,
person
yeah, I got it.
decides, I want to
Gotcha.
kill Martae, I want to unalive Martae, they could just decide that. They could just decide that. It depends on the person. Is it right or wrong?
No, you're a woman. The chances of you would have to have more force, a monopoly on force than me, which would be improbable. I'd say that.
I have access to guns. I have access to knives.
Women are
poisons,
disarmed
wigs.
65% of the time, men only 11% of the time. Why is that?
Most
All
men are
right,
not
let's
trained in
Yeah,
combat.
anyways, go ahead. Let's go.
let's get to the next one here.
This is crazy.
We got drunken debater. Drunken debater seems very antsy to get onto the open panel. Said, "Are we doing VC questions for $5?" And then also sends another $5. Says, "Are we going to get an open panel?" And then sends another $5 to say, "Is there going to be an open panel where we can speak?" And then says, "Speak easy, please let me in." And then also says, "Tag me in, coach."
This is
Don't
gonna
worry,
be
drunken
crazy.
debater. We got like 7 minutes and we're about to open up here. That's
Yeah,
great.
this is wild. Bro.
That's hilarious. I am the original vintage says next thing she's going to assert that math is racist.
Okay.
Is math racist?
That failed. That
Wow.
failed.
Wait,
Black
can you
people
answer?
invented
Original
math
vintage
before
is pretty corny.
Pythagoras.
It's okay.
Wait, can you answer
say
the
it's
question?
corny.
Is math racist?
Math is an objective fact that can be observed. They
No,
have math
I know
in
it is, but is
Africa,
it
they have math in Greece.
right? But is it
Somebody
racist
invented
though?
the Pythagorean theorem before Pythagoras, but you
All
know
right,
what
you
they
can't
say,
answer the
it's not
question.
where you
Let's
take
move
it
on.
from, it's where you take it to.
I
Period.
think that was a long way of saying no. If I'm not mistaken. Okay.
Math
She
exists
man,
in every
anyways.
culture, just like religion exists in every
This is-
culture.
$5 comes in from a drunken debater again. Says so. No open panel. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming.
Yes.
And then drunken debater sends in another $5 to say, richer people have more children because they plan more abortion.
Who said that? They have less children. I said in the beginning, in the works of Michel de Montaigne, that richer people like skinnier women because they have the means to support a more frail woman through her pregnancy. They have the means. A bigger woman, she has more fat on her body. She has more sustenance to provide for the baby. Your baby is gonna make it with a big woman. That's why the figures in the historical times were the fat ass women, those Venus figures that they found. But yeah, you weren't listening, drunkie. But come on, so I could tag your ass too, like Martae.
All right. And then we got Northumberland says, I think a part of the problem is that she doesn't know or doesn't acknowledge the full hierarchy. She's been saying man, then women. That's wrong. The full hierarchy is God, man, woman, child.
Yeah, I've said that. Yep.
In a Christian ideology. In the Egyptian ideology, it's man and woman come together to make the child. The Christians took that and bastardized it. So instead of the father and the mother make the life, because that's what the Ankh is, it's a penis and a womb coming together to create life. They took it and they took the womb off of the Ankh and made a cross. So instead of the father and the mother create the child, create life, they have the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. So yeah, those Greeks, they took from those Egyptians, those Arabs, they took from them too. They stole the knowledge, they burned the libraries, but it is what it is. You have to be educated to even understand this.
Let me
and
ask
a
you
lot
a
of
question.
people won't get it.
You just made a wild claim. So Constantine decided the method of torture and execution by using Egyptian knowledge and what they did with the symbol, using
the Greeks went into Egypt and they took the knowledge that they found on the pyramid and they took it and they bastardized it, and that is what became Christianity. The Ankh,
no,
you know what an Ankh looks like?
Yes, I do.
Looks like a cross.
So
that cross represents the penis and the womb coming together to create life.
So hold on.
Now,
so they
the
use
Christians took that ideology and they made the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They took the woman out of the equation. It's not that one should
hold
be
on.
over the other. It's that both come together to create life.
Right, yeah, but you're making one point and you're adding on it. Can I at least address one of your points? So the method of execution that they used in Roman days was borrowed from this Egyptian symbol?
Explain why they used the cross. They said they used the cross because Jesus died on the cross.
It was a method of execution. It was capital punishment. It was one of the worst ways to die. So can you tell me how they used the Ankh to say we're going to execute people based on the Ankh?
They took the story and they changed it, period. They took the story and they changed it. So instead of the mother and the father, they made it represent the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They changed the definition of it. They added a lot of things. In fact, Emperor Constantine,
I think this is going over your head a
sat
little bit.
there and changed the Bible. The Bible used to be different. It used to have a lot more stuff in it. Constantine took it. So
Hey, hold on.
this is the thing. If the Bible is a
No, that's
perfect
false.
book, a perfect book needs no revision.
So
that lets you know right there that it has
Ecumenical
been tampered
Council-
with by men.
So the Ecumenical
The oldest
Council-
Bibles, the Codex Sinaiticus and the Septuagint Bible, which means the Council of 70.
So
you will see that they don't have all the stuff that these
that's
new
wrong.
Bibles
So
have.
the Orthodox Church is the church that put the Bible together, not Constantine. We had ecumenical councils. What
It
do you
was
think they
during
did?
his time. It was during the time of the
What do you think the
Byzantine
ecumenical
Constantine
councils did?
Empire.
You're wrong on all this.
All right, then this will go into
crazy.
a whole nother debate. Shantae sends in 10 just to yell into the abyss. Thank you very much, Shantae. I appreciate that big time. And then Achilles sends in $2 to say, I'm officially dumber. Okay. All
He
right,
probably
thank
didn't
you.
need any help to do that. That was going to happen anyway.
Shit. Thank you very much, Achilles. Since we got a minute left, I can get one here from the Q&A in the chat. This one comes from Dr. Dickhead. What a great name.
Nice name, by the way, yeah.
A great name, right? Says, does this lady have any actual historical facts or just a bunch of pseudo-historical bullshit? W. Martae. You want to tell him to fuck himself? You can. It's okay.
Hebrew is ancient Greek.
What?
They share a common geographical region and influence in the ancient Levant.
So he asked you a question if you know something, and then you started Googling. This is
I want to back up my
wild.
facts. Back up.
Right. He asked if you knew something and what your reference was, and you're using Google, which is fine, but literally a lot's being exposed here during this debate.
We
That's all I want to
know that the Greeks went into Egypt and they stole. They stole the knowledge. They burned the libraries. They shot the noses off the pyramids. They stole that knowledge and they wanted to deny that black people made it. It's a fact.
All right.
They
Well,
had big
listen.
noses like you, Martae, big blobs.
Listen, that will be the wrap up for the 30-minute Q&A. Okay. Again, thank you to everyone in the live chat for all the questions, the engagement, all the support. It's what helps me keep bringing you these debates and the entire Swords of Reason experience week after week. I appreciate every single one of you. And of course, huge thank you to our debaters for stepping into the arena tonight, sharpening their ideas in front of us all. Let me just check real quick before we move on. You're both said you're planning to stay for the open panel?
Oh, I'm definitely staying. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what's going to happen next is we're going to roll the debate outro song and video that runs for about 4 minutes. Perfect time for everyone to hit the washroom, grab a drink, stretch your legs, do whatever you need to do before the Chaos and Chill open panel begins. During the outro, I'm going to drop the link in the chat for anyone who wants to join. test your ideas, continue the conversation. Anyone is welcome to hop in. Just come ready, think, question, debate, etc. And if you're going to try to come and just like troll, spurg over everyone, bring personal dramas, you're just going to get muted and most likely booted real quick. So, while you're ahead with that idea, just quit it. All right. And before we run the outro, one last reminder, make sure you guys go subscribe to both the debaters. Their links are in the description. And if you're enjoying these debates, hit subscribe on the Speakeasy channel as well so you don't miss any of the upcoming Swords of Reason battles we have there. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. This is where logic meets passion. All right, let's roll the outro, and I will see you all in a few minutes for the Chaos and Chill.